I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
I'm feeling fly, yeah, I'm so damn fresh. Got that platinum grill, bringing in the chest. Diamonds in my mouth, shining when I speak. That umbrella guy, flossing speaking geek. Ice on my teeth, I'm dripping so hard. Platinum grills, I'm the king of the boulevard. Throwing money in the club, making haters mad. I'm the baddest in the game, no one gets a pass. Ooh yeah. Crushing all these lines, yeah, I feel fly. Rolling on the dubs, that umbrella guy. Iced out pro on the boulevard. You ain't a comic gangster, don't be playing hard. Ice on my teeth, I'm flying so high. Dropping the bass, that umbrella guy. One drill to rule them all, one drill to bind them. Baby, I'm so iced out, gonna blind them. Rolling in town, I'm an army of one. Doing verbal walk-bys, blazing like the sun. Riding in my whip, crushing false accusers. Dropping off the bass on the real abusers. Yeah. Living life fast, no time for the slow. Justice on my mind, stacking up on that flow. Life in the fast lane, no time to blink. Ice on my teeth, watch it when I speak. Chilling on my rhymes, never missing a beat. Ice on my teeth, yeah, I'm living that sweet. That umbrella guy, bringing the platinum heat. Crushing every hater, no time for defeat. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, indeed. Hey there, folks. How's it going? Welcome to what's today? Thursday edition. I forgot for a minute with Megan. How's it going, Megan?
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
It's bad when I forget the day. I'm like, we have a schedule. Tuesday, Thursdays we stick to, and I can't even remember what day it is.
Well, that's a problem here in the Pond Scum. The Pond Scum posse sometimes loses track of the days because the news just keeps breaking all over the place. My God, it just won't stop.
Man, there are buckets of stupid and buckets of crazy. They just keep dumping everywhere. I was, by the way, we were going to talk about... Karen Reed, but that is my fault. I needed something to laugh at today. I needed a bunch of stupid to laugh at. After a really stupid day, I need some stupid people to mock. So,
yeah, because the latest developments in the Karen Reed case is that I think that the Massachusetts Mafia cop bros want to kill me.
I get that feeling, to be honest. When they're tagging you in with I'm sure you should talk about this much more in depth, but I've been watching some of the tag-ins and stuff, and they're trying to cause you real problems.
So we will be. That was going to make us too angry to talk about tonight. So I'm going to give it a day or two, see what shakes out of the, under the rocks, because you lift up a rock, stuff goes crawling out. So we'll see what crawls out the next couple of days, but I'll talk about that at a later time. It's a little scary out there, Tug.
It is. That's kind of crazy. I mean, those people are certifiable.
If you find me face down in the snow, I didn't do it to myself. If you find me with 20 stab wounds in the back of the neck, I didn't do it. Just saying.
If my taillight shattered, I didn't back over you either. I'm just saying, straight up. I don't even live in the... They're like, he drove down from Tennessee. I'm like, what? What now? Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if any of those things happened, Karen Reed didn't do it either. Just saying.
They'll blame it on Turtle Boy. I'd be like,
You can't even tell a joke anymore without them calling the Canton cops on you. That's literally what happened.
That's amazing, It's crazy. And you're mocking, some police officers that, well, they've earned it. They've really earned it.
Yep. And we have some other police officers tonight we're going to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
Who've also earned a little bit of mocking, shall we say.
So yeah, we started talking about those, the dozens and dozens of police calls. Well, we've had a wonderful person, he's uploaded many things in the past. Snitchel Ninja. He decided that he would upload the wellness check. We'd actually get us some stunning new video to look at today.
And this is from December. This is from December. And as we all are aware, Laura Owens made a lot of different statements over the time we've known her about being near unaliving.
This is crazy, though. I mean, this isn't Laura making statements. This is Laura's mama making statements. Some of the stuff she says is... Yeah, I've never heard before,
I've never heard it either.
I mean, that's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing that we're this far into this stuff, and we're past a trial, and we're still finding out there was more crazy. Not only that, again, they just flagrantly lied to police officers when they came around, and police officers were like, hogs at a trough. They just slopped it up. I mean, that's messed up too. Taking their word for it.
It feels like Laura is always finding these cops who just believe her. And it's her mom too. Like her mom has that power to just look. I've talked to cops before, and I've never felt like police just automatically believed me. So maybe I don't have whatever this magic is that these two seem to have. They have this like innate ability to tell these wild, crazy stories that make no sense. Yet police officers are like, oh, you need to go get a restraining order like right now. When I had people leaving dead animals on my porch and posting my address online saying shoot her in the head, stuff like that. And when I was in Illinois, the police that I went to literally said to me, yeah, we can't do anything about that. I mean, if somebody breaks into your house or something, or I'm like, so I have to get shot? They're like, pretty much.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you got to ventilate them yourself. We'll just come and clean it up.
Pretty much. I mean,
yeah, it is. I mean, that's really what they tell you usually.
And they're not wrong. They weren't wrong. I mean, I was finding out, when you get harassed like that online, there is nothing they can do. They are not going to launch a cyber crimes team to go and subpoena all the records from all the internets. They're like, no, there's nothing we can do. But for some reason, for her, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, her stories are just absolutely insane. That's what kills me about this stuff. I mean, when we watch it. And it's not just cops, by the way. I mean, we have a systemic listen and believe problem. I've been saying that for a long time. You've been saying that for a long time. But you see it. You saw it played out with Clayton Echard. You've seen it. And not just Clayton, Mike Mancini. Mike Mancini is a perfect example of issues where you have the police go in, judges. But you also, I mean, look at Clayton, Mr. Duty. Mr. Duty, he had certain things to say, and none of them really good,
Yep.
Let's check this out. Ugh. What's up?
Buckle up, folks, because it's crazy.
Hey, John. Yeah, actually, so Tuesday we were talking about this here, John, and it is a fascinating story. Just to note this too. So Tuck, thanks for the 20 there too. You're missing a much larger story. X and Rumble are suing Google over selective advertisement. Yes, that's actually, it's fascinating to see put together because we all know that this happens. That's the thing. Like if you go out and you search a topic, do you ever have Rumble pop up as one of the things that it recommends you?
No.
I've never been recommended. I don't even know if I'm recommended Rumble if I searched for Rumble. They might give me like Rumble in the Jungle or something, But I don't even know if they'd give me Rumble. So you had Rumble actually say that we're going to sue. And Twitter's like, hey, let's do it. Game on. You know, we've been, Elon posted and said, we've been looking at this for a year. We tried to play nice. Now we're going to play differently. Yeah, I think that's fascinating. But yeah, this is bigger than the story you covered on the Asian bank and Hollywood celebrities. Oh yeah. Letting it settle a little bit, get into the court documents. That is something that we will talk about. We've actually talked about it, like I said, a little bit live on Tuesday, and then
has the suit been filed?
Getting into it.
Has it been filed? Is
yeah,
it something
Rumble.
we can read?
Let me see.
Because that would be a great thing to go over. I'd like to do that.
Rumble put out their statement on it, and the filing itself is attached to it. So let me show you this real fast, and
cool.
Then give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I've actually got it pulled up here. So this tells you, this is a topic that we've been looking at, John. Because check this out, man. Here's the post itself. Where they note it, and then there's an actual post that this links to. But they were like, breaking, Rumble has joined, I'm going to say Twitter still. I hate the X. I hate saying that.
I know, me
Sue
too.
Cartel of advertisers and ad agencies who conspired to block ad revenue from going to certain platforms and content creators. Arm was a conspiracy to perpetrate advertiser boycott of Rumble and others, and that is illegal. And it is indeed. So they put a statement with this too. Give me 1 minute here. Yeah, I had all this pulled up and was reading over it actually. It's funny you mention it because it's all sitting here already. But yeah, they put up a statement for Rumble joining X. So they talk about it, but at the bottom, they actually have the complaint itself. And the complaint, it's interesting. I have to have time to read. I don't.
How many pages is it?
It's a 32-page filing, but I haven't looked over everything attached to it. Yeah, let me roll it real quick. Let me see if it's all pure item. Yeah, so it's a. Yeah,
like
it is an actual pure.
That Elon has of using lawfare to even out the playing field a bit, and like funding lawsuits that encourage free speech and that even things out. Like this constant censorship, it's no good. And the thing that's funny about it to me is there are lots of people who used to be the free speech people. The people on the left, they used to love free speech, and now it's totally different. It's changed. It's like, well, it's great to, not everybody, obviously, some people are still worried about it, but they want to silence their critics, but it can always be turned around the other way. And that's the thing I'd never understand is like, don't you understand that if this becomes the norm, eventually it will get switched and the other side's going to be censoring you?
There's already case precedent for search engines, going out and selectively promoting something, considering the tax breaks they get, how they operate and everything else. They're not supposed to be doing that. So, they may have a real good lawsuit on their hands. We'll see. Like I say, but the Gina Carano, it's fascinating because one of the first real hits that we saw going after Disney, there were so many people saying, Gina Carano, this is going to be dismissed right from go. Guess what? It's still going. Mm-hmm. And, you could be talking about, I know for a fact, not just reading over, but let's just say I know that there's going to be some amazing emails that are going to pop up in that. I mean, the communications they noted anyway, just in their filing. Oh, you're talking about some big dogs, and they did a lot of things that they're not supposed to do behind the scenes at Disney. So that lawsuit, yeah, it may humble all these. Elon's funny in the way, like he's got the big ego, and the places that went after him and tried to damage him and tried to damage his platform. Oh yeah, he's going to get them back for sure. And it's like you said, the lawfare here is it works. It very well,
Well, lawsuits are that is how you address your grievances. The Constitution says you have the right to address your grievances, and that's how we do it, is through lawsuits, the legal way. That's what keeps people from backing over each other with cars usually. So, or whatever. Usually.
Usually.
Or turning your, rabid dog on a friend. Those are the things that you don't do when you have the ability to sue someone instead. Usually.
I don't know, man. Let's
Allegedly.
yeah, let's take all of your evidence, Megan, and put it in a solo cup and see what it weighs out to. Let me hit these two suits. John was talking about this too. There's a huge advertising agency called GARM. It's backed by the WEF, which is based on the ESGBS. Elon has said, we tried to play nice. Now it's war. He actually said that, by the way. That is his quote. That's what I had that recommended to me. The reason I knew about this wasn't because I saw Rumble talking about it. It was Elon. Elon, he can promote whatever he wants on Twitter. I don't follow him or anything, but I had that tweet roll through my feed. I was like, I wonder if that was selective.
If I had his kind of money, I would do absolutely the same thing.
Oh, after they tried to break Twitter, they did. I firmly believe. Again, I'm not a Elon fan for a lot of reasons, but for this kind of stuff, oh yes, very much so a fan of that, because these places went out, they tried to break him, and they tried to break Twitter after they had uplifted Twitter as the best thing ever, and Elon is the best thing ever, until. They used to talk about, oh man, we're going to go to Mars. He's going to be the greatest leader ever. And now they're like, he couldn't lead us to the trash can. And it's like, fuck y'all. And John, thanks for this too. To all those asking about Lady Tiger, she doing fine, by the way. Thank you for asking. She's sleeping at the moment. Something she does a lot lately. I don't blame her. Going blind sucks. I would too.
Aww.
Yeah. Well, love to you guys, man, John. Appreciate you, brother, by the way. That is something we will for sure talk about. We've been looking. I've been pulling up like I said, I have it pulled up. I like to read the documents and be somewhat familiar with what I'm talking about beforehand. Like if I go in blind, sometimes I do that, but I don't like stumbling my way through something. I like to have at least, I can't say have a grasp on it because, like the video we're going to cover today, I watched a few minutes of it and pulled away. But I feel like I have enough grasp of what's going to happen here. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. We will.
Your live reaction, by the way, is going to be so much better than if you had watched it before.
I like having the live reaction to something, because it's just like everybody that's watching, It reminds me like the first time I really got to know DUI guy or Larry, and he was when he was in the courtroom at the Heard trial, his live reaction, it was just like mine, and it was awesome, It was. So I'm like, I like those kind of moments. So with that said, let's get into this wonderful, blunderful thing.
Can't wait.
Here we go. All the best.
All the best. Oh, and it doesn't have sound for the first couple seconds. It's like
it's them popping up at first.
They're waiting for someone to come to the door. I wonder if we can see anything through the window. Look at the camera at the window.
What's that note say on the door?
There's a note on the door?
Looks like it. Wasn't there a note on the door? Here, watch when it rolls over to it. See, there's a note.
Oh, yeah.
It probably says, my doorbell isn't working. I think Greg Gillespie, the notorious hacker, has hacked it.
Yeah, it is like a huge paragraph. Greg Gillespie has hacked my doorbell.
I wonder if it says all the best at the bottom.
Oh.
I wonder that would be a great doorbell ring sound for her.
All the best.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
She's not answering. It's like,
There.
Is Laura here? Yeah, she is somebody called in a welfare check about her? Yes.
Yeah. It's a friend from New York. I don't know if you know who that was.
Pause.
What I do.
Is that you? No, I'm just kidding.
How does she know? Yeah, it wasn't me. But how does she know why they're there? Obviously, she knows her daughter did something. to get herself a wellness check.
Well, Megan
It's not
mentioned...
like this happens all the time, Tug. She's only had like 2 of these, I think, maybe 3.
Well, you mentioned a very interesting thing. You know, Laura doesn't meet them at the door. That means we don't have Laura on camera, so that, you know, the belly in question, you know, the not so twins, yeah, you don't get to see whether or not that's real.
Yeah, by the way, on December 12th, she was still claiming to be 100% pregnant with twins. December 28th was when the motion to dismiss went in, where she said she was no longer pregnant.
Holy God. Those little vases or whatever they are, like on the wall, they look like, I was like, man, she's like collecting steel testicles or something. There's 3 sets. I wonder if that's talking about certain people we know.
Oh, good Lord. You're right. This
scary.
is giving me a witchy vibe.
It does. It's creepy there. Man, John, thank you, by the way. 20 gifted memberships too, brother. Thank you. We will, for real, I'm going to go over that though, man. Blinding that. So Marina, thank you for the gifted membership too. I saw those come up. Well, I saw them fall in. I was looking. I was like, damn, there were a bunch of gifted memberships here. Where'd they come from? Thank you, John. Okay, let's go.
Do know is that she is the target of an online harassment campaign that has been going on for months. Okay. And one of the things that they wanted to do, it was started by a disgruntled ex-boyfriend of hers.
See, you notice that. The blaming. Who are we blaming? We're blaming Greg Gillespie? Is that
Yep.
who we're going with?
Yep.
I feel it.
That's who we're going with this time.
She's talking. Look, I'm telling you, those 6 steel balls, and she looks like she's telling us something about science. That's creepy, Larians.
So, you know what? I got to change my avatar because I'm feeling a demonic presence in the room. So I'm going to have to go with, let's see. Ah, here we go. Fox, my fox nun. I'm going to need my, may the power of Christ compel you, Jan.
Here. I'll get Pope Tug in the house.
There we go. There we go. Let's get the proper armor on.
We want to.
Hold on to my rosary.
Exactly. Oh, the power of lulz compels you.
And he started posting all of this crazy stuff about her on Reddit.
Oh, he was posting the crazy stuff about her on Reddit?
Yeah.
He was the one posting crazy stuff? Really? Not her Medium articles? Not that crazy shit on Medium that she posted? I'm sorry. I'm yelling.
When did she report him? Do you remember the date right off the bat when she reported him to, that big evidentiary thing we looked through for the police?
Oh, you mean the order of protection?
No, the call to the police for.
There's been so many of them, Todd.
Yeah, but that one that you remember we went through and looked through like 32 pages of examples.
Oh,
you know, the one she was like dehydrated, my water, I've had watered down blood.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wait. Let me watered down blood. I forgot how funny that was.
That was an amazing live stream. I was like, oh my God.
I think. Oh, Brad sent that to me in a. Here, I can get it. It's in my Twitter DMs. I can give you a date on that. That's a good question. Let's see. Here it is. I think. All right. Well, I'll find it while we continue, and then I'll tell you what date.
Unbelievable. Right. And so he has encouraged people to do. To call in the Scottsdale Police Department and ask for a welfare check. Okay. This is like the third one
I got it.
week.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And I had contacted.
Okay, what's the date?
Well,
anticlimactic Megan. She's like, I've got it. Okay, well let's switch it away.
I have the document, but there isn't a date on it. There isn't a date on the Gillespie connection.
Megan.
Well, wait. The date on the this is that was anti.
It was.
Where's
it was
my
like
sad
what?
Tribone. Okay, so the issue is now I have to find the police report that mentions that document, and then we will have. But there's so many. Don't make fun of me. That was bad.
I'm not laughing. Never. I would never laugh.
How dare
I like how
you, Mom?
by the way, she said just then that he had encouraged people to call in wellness checks. Like that wasn't an allegation that was made with any of that stuff. So this is just some, and the popo were all like, oh, that's terrible. That's so awful, by the way. Look at her hand. It looks like it's hooked, man.
I'm telling you, she left the cauldron. That's what took her so long. She was throwing small toads into a cauldron, and then she had to get the door. I think it's time. I think it's time for the duck test. We need to do the duck test. Does it float? Does she weigh the same as a duck? Let's put her on the scales.
She weighed the same as a duck. Is that like some messed up version of like the Egyptian? Is your heart as light as a feather?
It's Monty Python, the witch trials. The angry villagers are like, they're like trying to burn this woman. She's a witch, and the priest is all, how do we tell a witch? And then he's walking.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
You put him on a scale with a duck, because if the duck floats and if she floats, I don't know, whatever. It's just funny.
They all float down here. All right, let's look at that hand. I mean, I don't know, just a weird pause there.
She
looks frozen.
Called in and talked to the Scottsdale Police Department as well, and said, we don't want your resources. This is ridiculous. It's a prank. Thing. But
we don't want your resources.
She was taking it.
Really?
We don't want your resources.
Well, then why does she call the police every freaking day?
That's actually a very good point. We don't want to eat up any of your resources, except 3 times a day, every day. Okay.
Boots on the Ground says there's a new video posted with both police. What do you mean? You mean on Schnitzel Ninja's YouTube? Did that just go up? Is it the same video but with a different angle or something, like from somebody else's?
Is it the other Popo's?
I'm gonna look.
Okay, you look.
I'm gonna look.
And now this has been devastating beyond belief.
Oh yeah, there's a new one. It's a split screen.
She's taking a nap, but I.
Does it have everybody? Does it
yeah.
Wait, should I tune that one in? I know where I'm at. I'm in at the minute 52. Okay, let's do that.
Yep, it's the same length too.
All right, man. Schnitzel Ninja has been on it lately.
I know.
I'm telling you. I mean, very well on it. Yeah, actually the same. It's the same length too, so I can actually just jump forward to a minute and 52. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Oh, man, that's great. Okay, I'm setting it up real fast. It'll just take me a minute.
Okay. And I'm still trying to figure out what date the Greg Gillespie connection document was. I want to say it was in October.
I do have that love connection. Greg connection. Greg connection. Every time. Yeah, Yeah, so it's got both body cams. That's what it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
She's taking a nap, but I can wake her up.
I don't think that would be necessary.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's necessary. It's necessary.
Actually, that should be necessary anyway with a wellness check. When you go
You're
out,
supposed to put eyes on her.
Yeah, that's the entire point there. I mean, you have no idea what's going on here. This lady, she could have strapped a kaboom on her back or something. I don't know.
She could have broken into the house. They don't know who she is. They haven't asked her for ID.
Right.
They don't know who she is. She says she is who she is, but they haven't asked her to identify herself. How do they know who she is? And how do they know that she's telling the truth? At the very least, they should have put eyes on Laura.
I think it's because the officer over there, if you look at him, he's horrified by those 6 balls on the wall. He is. Look at him staring at it. He's like, holy God. They really are dangerous.
Holy God.
Look at him. He's staring right at it.
Oh, my God.
He's like, oh, it's not safe here. It's not safe here. They follow your own. Thanks for the gifted membership. Also, I saw this. SF said, and thanks for the 2. Megan, check your locals.
Okay. I'm going there now.
It was a tech. Thanks for the 5. I've been saying it for a while now. The apple never falls far from the tree. When I was a teen, my stepdad always said, look at the mother. Are you telling me there's a warning sign here? I missed it. I can never do it.
I don't
For some reason,
God.
it wasn't in our notes for your address.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put comments in there that says this is an ongoing prank.
Okay,
Right.
stop.
All right.
We
Stop.
still may send.
How does this cop know that this is an ongoing prank? They don't have any
Well-
notes in the system, and she's just like, okay, you told me it was a prank, so I'm going to go and write in the notes that it's an ongoing prank. You didn't do any bit of investigation to find out if this
Well-
woman is telling you the truth.
My answer to that would be, in the words of the venerable Mr. Duty, I'll take your word for it. You remember that? I'll take your word for it. Apparently, that's how the judicial system works now. Man, I wish that worked, like if I got a speeding ticket or something. No, officer, I was going 35. You're like, oh, I thought I clocked you at 80. I'll take your word for it. Thank you.
We have to understand, because if it's not us on,
Uh-huh.
or it's not the same dispatchers,
Uh-huh.
they still might just send on it.
Uh-huh.
But I would work on trying to contact Reddit and let them know.
She has
Contact Reddit? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I mean,
Contact Reddit.
yeah, I would contact Reddit and let them know that there are random people out there that don't like, because again, this narrative's not real. The narrative of him, an ex-boyfriend, encouraging people to call in wellness checks. That's, prove it. I would say prove this shit, because it's not there. You know, no proof offered. Again, no proof of person, no proof of narrative. But hey, call Reddit. You know, by the way, why not get a restraining order against Reddit? It seems to work.
Oh God, it's 11:23. Thank you, Jenny, in the chat for finding it. The date is 11/23/23.
So it goes with the narrative. This isn't the same time within that same time span. So
Within a
you're
month.
talking, yeah, you're talking, well, in a couple of weeks, really. I mean,
So that
you
means
know,
that Detective Reedy already knows all about Laura's allegations that are false against Greg Gillespie, because Detective Reedy wrote in that report that we went over the other night that there was no proof of any of these allegations. None. And that you've got two police officers here who have not been briefed. They don't know when they get a call to go to Laura Owen's house. They don't know already that this woman has submitted these false calls. I just don't understand. I think this is I don't think this is like a corruption thing. I think this is
ineptitude thing.
yeah, we're not speaking to one another the way we should. We're not
Well-
putting out memos the way that we should be.
I would further say with this too, that we saw all this so-called evidence pointed at ex-boyfriend and at Reddit, and at no time did we see anything that said call in a wellness check or anything like that. You know, she would have pointed that out for sure. If she had something like that as proof, yeah, it would have been in that document for sure.
contacted them, they will not take it down. They will not take it down. And this guy, he's created different fake accounts.
No proof of that.
I mean, it's.
He's going to Great Lakes. Have you?
He's going to Great Legs. I love
Great, great legs.
He's going to Great Legs.
Is that
He's-
like
he's-
that? Great Lakes, Great Legs. Yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
Well, again, we know it's the opposite because they just said, you know, well, he's creating fake accounts and stuff. No proof whatsoever. Again, the detective said there was no proof that these accounts were indeed Greg Gillespie. In fact, I mean, some of the people that have been accused with another, not necessarily that document, I don't know with that one, but other people that have been accused of being other people have come out and said, no, you know, I'm whomever. And they weren't the people that she was pointing fingers at. Whoopsie.
Mm-hmm.
Looked into an injunction against harassment.
She has
Okay.
against him. This is part of his thing. She's had this against him for 2 years, and
This is an old ex-boyfriend then.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's an old ex-boyfriend, and she had the injunction against her harassment against him. I mean, he's really another friend of ours who is an FBI profiler had.
Damn. So that right there. So they talked to an FBI profiler, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Going after
what she
Greg
says.
Gillespie? Yeah, so they were trying to weaponize the FBI. And we know they were, by the way, because that
And I wonder
wellness
who
check.
that FBI. I wonder who that friend who's an FBI profiler is, and if he really did look into Greg, is he allowed to do that off the record? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they just have a friend they called. They didn't like do an official call. They just asked their friend who's an FBI profiler to take a look at him.
Yeah, the friend's name is Shlora Mowens. You'd be like, wait a minute.
I bet it's somebody that they had on Ron's show or something at some point. You know, somebody interviewed.
I don't doubt that they, that they have connections. I have no doubt of that. I mean, we're talking about somebody that, for sure, they had a lot of financial connection. They had a lot of, they had their show. So I'm sure that they have political and social connections they could leverage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. That's scary, though, when they're bringing up FBI profilers.
Mm-hmm. Looked at, what this guy is all about, and she said he's the kind of a person who is not going to stop unless he thinks he's got to win. Okay. And he had said to her...
That sounds like Laura.
He texted her, I will destroy your life, I will destroy your reputation. And that was 2 years ago, and he's just continued this.
Is he local here? Or?
Yeah, he's local.
What's his name?
He's local. His name is Greg Gillespie.
Yep, see? Throwing it right out at Greg there. So the FBI have looked at him, and they've said he is a monster, and he'll never stop. In fact, da-da-da-da-da. If she had proof, like I said, of this kind of stuff, they would very well take it serious, too. If she would have, with the orders that they had against him, if she would have had even a modicum of proof, they would have definitely taken, because you see them taken seriously like nothing. She's pulling this out of thin air, and they're taking it seriously.
But he could have called from a fake number, or like I say, he's tried to start stuff online. She contacted the Scottsdale Police Department with a lot of instances of these, and they sent it to the prosecutor's office. And the prosecutor's office said that they didn't think they could get a conviction on it.
Yeah, because there's no crime.
That's not what was said, though. They didn't actually mention the prosecutor in any way, shape, or form.
No. Reedy did. Reedy did.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yep. It was turned. What Reedy said about it was was turned down. The prosecutor looked at it and turned it down. So he did not say that the prosecutor thought there was a lot of stuff, but they couldn't get a conviction. The prosecutor just turned it down because there's no crime.
Yeah, for an injunction against harassment too. Again, that with the existing, again, on paper, we can think anything we want about those orders, but when they're looking at it from the legal system, if there would have just been anything whatsoever, they would have at least given it that bar. For sure. Mm-hmm.
But they didn't know that if they would be able to get a conviction on it. So I think that one of his motives is to try to make it so that when her order against him comes up for renewal next year, that he can say, well, look, she's crazy. Look at all this stuff that he's posted online about her, and you know.
Well, that's what she's doing to him. She's building the record on him.
Yep. Yeah,
and by the way, she's saying that all these people on Reddit, Laura's story is everyone on Reddit is Greg.
It is the Gillespie connection. I mean, that document was amazing to look through because it was just a bunch of random people she was pointing the finger at, saying, look, it's him. I know. How do I know that? Well, he must have been eavesdropping when I talked to Ravgen. He's the only one that knew that I asked about my watered down blood.
Hey, I'm Greg. It's Greg here. Greg's here. I'm everywhere.
I too am Greg. Don't have my voice changer on.
I can hack anything. Doorbells, emails, cop shops. I'm Greg.
Greg is such a powerful hacker. He's going to hack that pad that cop has right there. Look, he's hacking it. Oh no, he's going to make him write down something bad. Oh no.
Especially for her, document it, get copies of it, so then she can go right back to the judge and be like, this is what's going on.
Right. And he's contacted a podcaster who has also been doing just relentless posts about her. And
that's so strange.
I know.
Well, what happened? What
Dave
strange?
Neal, baby.
It's so strange. The cop goes, "That's so strange." Maybe you should ask, who's the podcaster? And look up one of the videos, sir. And then you would actually see what this is about. And it wouldn't be strange to you anymore because, you kind of did your job and, I don't know, investigated something instead of just stand here listening to this wackadoodle telling you a bunch of tales that aren't true. Oh my God, fake Laura Owens is back. We have missed you. I have missed you. For days you have been gone. Where have you been?
Oh man, is fake Laura Owens back?
Fake Laura Owens is back. She's back.
Oh, what's up, fake Laura Owens? I appreciate you, by the way.
We have missed you. We've all been looking for you.
She cracks me up there, She does.
I know.
John also said, by the way, he disagreed with the sentiment of, the look at the mother thing. Elsa might have been a real jerk. The apple follows its own path, no predestination. Well, in this, that's true. In some instances, you can see like a person being that. But yes, people can break off on their own way too. Sometimes they learn from a monster. Yeah.
I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where they're like clones of each other, and then I've also seen where like great parents have a kid who just is a complete screw up, and and you don't know how that happened.
And Ray asked, he was like, "Do you think Rattlesnake Solutions in Arizona could relocate this entire family of vipers?"
Let's send them to Rattlesnake Ranch. That's a great idea. And you know what? While they're there, they can learn Snake Chorus. And they can all be at Rattlesnake Ranch, hissing along with David Gingras. Oh, by the way, David Gingras is being investigated by the bar. Do you know about this?
Oh, no, I haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah. And I have the, if we get finished with this and we want more to do, I have the complaint.
What's funny is every time you say something about the bar now, after
Canton?
Yeah. I think, which bar is investigating?
Which bar are we talking
about? Massachusetts.
If we're talking about Massachusetts, it's a whole other kind of bar.
John said too, FBI can investigate Tonsilgate, find a Pakistani native with terroristic tendencies, but not stop the Trump assassination attempt. Really, that's true. That's true. They can profile. Well, that's assuming they did get contacts, and that there were people that were worried about what Laura was saying, but worried more about her mental health. That seems to be the constant across that when people get contact, because she's talking about, self-harm, self-injury.
And that's the only time people called in wellness checks. And I believe that they were not pranks. I believe that they were seriously worried. One of the people was an FBI agent.
Yeah. Yeah, now, they're going to say that's...
Maybe that was the FBI agent that was Ron Owen's friend. I wonder.
He's probably like a real one, actually. He's like, what the what now?
What the what?
Fake Laura Owens said, too, thanks for the 5. My vocal cords are eroded from all the mango from my victims.
Oh, that's why she has the bad vocal fry. It's now making all the sense in the world.
It makes total sense. Give her thanks for the 5 there, too. I feel rattlesnakes have just been insulted.
That's a good one.
True that.
What prompted a lot of this stuff is my daughter became pregnant by the guy who was the bachelor last year.
Congratulations.
She became pregnant by him in May.
Weird
and
thing
then he was acting like...
These cops, by the way, I just, for training purposes, I wish someone would give them the order from the judge talking about what they just listened to, and they're nodding their heads along with this narrative.
Oh, you're not really pregnant, or if you are pregnant, it's not mine. And then other times he was saying to us like, oh, but he wanted to be involved in the pregnancy and all this kind of stuff. So,
no, he didn't.
Anyhow,
Stop. He never, ever, ever told her that he wanted to be involved with the pregnancy. He told her the exact opposite in the only email that he has between her parents and him, which is, I want nothing to do with this. Your daughter is crazy and you need to tell her to stop. He never told them that he wanted to be a part of this baby's life. Nothing like that. These are just straight up lies.
Well, when they're lying, I guess they go all out. Like you said, this stuff is so unbelievable, and these folks just nod along, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's really interesting," But I mean, they seem to buy in and believe. They're giving advice on how to handle it, saying, "Hey,"
they're giving advice on how to go and file restraining orders. And you know what I think about that? The more I think about it, the more I think police ought never do that. That is legal advice. They have no business giving anybody legal advice. I mean, telling somebody that you don't know, you haven't investigated this case, you have no clue if this person is lying to you or not, and you stand there for a half an hour or whatever telling them how to file a protective order against someone.
Not just they may not have the training to deal with. I mean, we don't even know if they're trained to deal with DV situations. Also, most areas have some kind of judicial commissioner that's attached. That deals with this specific type of stuff. You go to them, you talk to them specifically, and they tell you, so, and especially since there's already, again, there's an order in place. Again, I don't agree with the order. I'm just looking at it from the law enforcement perspective. From the law enforcement perspective, there's a way that would be handled if they took it seriously, and obviously they did.
When this ex-boyfriend found out about her pregnancy with this guy, then it sent him into kind of an overdrive thing, and then he reached out to him, and it's like my daughter finally did a big post on Medium the other day, explaining, just the toll that all of this has taken on her. And
is that the crazy crying one, I wonder?
No, she's talking about the post on Medium. I am the woman in the Clayton Echard scandal.
I'm going to line that up with a date. Let me see if
it's
still there.
Yes. If I had to guess, it's the one, I am the anonymous woman. I bet that's the one.
Oh, yeah, she's taken all the ones from that time period down. So
she did? Well, we have archives of them all.
Yeah, but they only, on her stuff itself, they only go back to February the 8th.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that. Well, if you go to justiceforclayton.com,
they'll have
there are archives of every single Medium article. I just don't know where it is, but I'll look for it. I'm supposed to be looking for a bunch of things that I haven't found yet either. Just don't listen to me. When I say I'll look for it and just go on with the show, I'm never going to get back to it, just so you know. Just so you know.
Yeah, like if that anticlimactic, hey, I'll give you the date, Thankfully, the Jad found it for me.
I'm useless.
That was funny. Actually, it added good comedy. I needed a good laugh today. I wanted something to laugh at and make fun of. And,
I got it. And no, I don't.
Oh, God, I thought you really found something, you monster.
No.
I was getting ready to start it, and then you said, I got it. I was like, whoop, I'm going to stop. And then you were like, oh, nope.
Get used to it. Medium
God.
smart, Tug. Medium smart.
Satan's onion.
It's crazy beyond belief.
Is it your neighbor?
I think there's probably somebody, our neighbor babysits dogs
Oh,
in the daytime, so I think this is like pickup.
Oh, okay.
What?
It's more like,
My neighbor, wait.
How did we get to that dog thing?
My neighbor babysits dogs.
How did that happen? Wait. Let me just. How did that?
The other day, explaining, just the toll that all of this has taken on her, and how it's crazy beyond belief.
Is it your neighbor?
I think there's probably somebody, our neighbor.
Oh, is that your neighbor?
Oh, okay.
So I think this is like pickup.
Oh, okay. It's more like,
I know.
How do I get that job
where
I babysit other people's dogs?
But the cop was like, we were like somebody's walking up and they're going to do. Again, this is a wellness check. This wasn't a check about harassment or anything else. This has turned into something that it wasn't. Even the police are like, whoa, I'm creeped out. And it's.
Oh, my Lord. God.
Oh, Lord.
Kind of like that too.
Get online. I also try to get online. You can contact Google at different places and have her information removed from online, like house, phone number, things like that.
That also does not work. I wish that did work, but it does not work.
Who trained this woman?
You can go on the Google and contact.
She actually said call Google. Has anybody here ever tried to call Google? You can't call Google. That's not a thing.
1-800-Google. Let me see that.
Here, I'm going to Google it.
Google the Google.
Call Google. No, you know what? I'm going to ask Copilot because
Can I
Copilot will
call
know.
Google and bitch about my
Yes.
name
How do I
online.
call Google?
I actually asked it that. Can I call Google and bitch about my name online?
Take my info offline.
What did it tell me? Here's my answer for that. Google help. How can I change or edit my attention command from OK Google? That's not what I was asking for.
Here's what Copilot told me. You don't need to call them directly because you can't. Instead, you can follow these steps. So you have to submit a removal request, but of course you cannot call Google. Okay, there's no such thing as calling Google. Google does not have anyone standing by to take your call. I can tell you that for certain.
I need to ask my phone. Hey Google, how do I call you? It's like, you can call me anything you want, baby. I'll be like, no, that's not what I was saying. Don't say that live, Google.
Work on doing that too. Try to get as much information as you can offline. I know it's hard. We have to do it, and that's exactly how they tell us to do it. And there's ways to, like, whitepages.com, and you can go on, there's a link that says remove my information, and you can go on that, have her start doing all that information too. And then I get that they're coming to the house, but see what you can do.
They're coming to the house?
Who's coming to the house?
When was that ever said?
I don't understand how. I'm getting concerned about this female officer's ability to hear things and understand what she's hearing, because that was not said. They're coming to the house.
They're coming to that. I mean, she's paranoid, watching the dog walker behind her, being like, "Oh yeah, that's scary." They're coming to the house. Maybe she bought into that story. You know,
it's just so nuts.
Maybe she's scared. I don't know. Like I said, again, I walk up to a place, I have 6 testicles hanging on the wall. I might be scared too. The woman officer's like, "Hey, no telling what's hanging on the walls inside. Maybe I'm in danger too."
You block that information.
Right.
So-
Well, I feel really awful for you guys because it's a waste of resources, and it's obviously
how rich.
Yeah. Waste of resources.
So rich. A waste of resources.
Lord. KW, thanks for that, said, patrol law enforcement will not knock on a door without checking prior calls to the address. They are letting them talk to create a record of lies. Please don't underestimate. That's true.
No, I don't believe that.
They're letting them talk to create that. That is, but they're not doing it. They're not recording it though.
Okay, then let me ask you a question then.
Record.
If they were letting them talk in order to create a record.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
This was in December.
I misread that. Yeah.
In December. And Reedy in November already put in the report that she lied to the police, and that there was no crime, and that nothing is wrong, and that she is wasting their resources. And in December, they're back here again, listening to more lies, and they still don't charge her with filing false police reports. So no, I don't believe this. I don't believe they're letting them talk to create any record of lies. I want them to now take all this that they have and actually charge her with filing false police reports. That would be great if they could do that. And that's what they should do, because they look kind of incompetent right now. But maybe they can maybe say that, KW. Maybe they could come back now and be like, hey, we were just.
Yeah. And after. Yeah.
We were just, we were collecting evidence. Our investigation's been ongoing, and now we have enough proof. But,
I think there's multiple protective orders and other things that have happened with law enforcement that say actually they have believed a lot of what she had to say. And again, I know I return to it a lot, but with Mike Mancini, it wasn't a wellness check that he called them for help. They went to her to find out, hey, you're stalking this person. She made allegations, and they did the same thing this police officer was saying. Hey, why don't you go out and file against him?
Yeah, go file against him.
That's what they do. They love to do stuff like that. John, thanks for the vibe. Totally unrelated to anything, but I read somewhere that rattlesnakes are no longer rattling because it makes them more successful hunters. That's it.
That's terrifying.
Never heard that. Yeah, it is.
That's terrifying if true. They're like leveling up. The rattlesnakes are leveling up.
Bananas and pajamas are coming down the stairs. Thanks, fake Laura. I saw this laughing. Appreciate you, John, by the way. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the 5. Those are my mom's testicles hanging on the wall. They keep growing back. They keep growing back. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
This has been, I needed this today. By the way, again, you all, if you want to watch this, if you want to watch this all in one shot, again, it is all up there, Schnitzel Ninja. You can watch it all at one time at your life, but I really want to laugh, and I'm just annoyed by this stuff too. I mean, it does annoy me deep down. I like to laugh, it's stupid, but there are multiple people's lives that are entangled with this nonsense.
Yep.
Stuff. Yeah. But do you know what phone number had contacted?
It's a 415 area code. It's out of New York.
415 is San Francisco.
That's not New York.
Our number is 415.
The 415 one day I tried.
Yeah, so she's bringing up numbers and stuff. So I looked up 415. It's the Greater San Francisco Bay Area.
That's the number they have for her.
The person that called us gave us that phone number to contact her. So that whoever called doesn't have her.
Is getting old information online.
Okay, do you have...
How does that woman know that?
Give me a second, I'll walk out.
How does that cop know that the person who called was getting old information online? How the person who called said they were a friend, an old friend who now lives in New York. It literally could have been her own sister, or it could have been somebody that she knows.
Well, they've never
who
talked
had her old number.
They haven't talked to Laura at all. You know, they still haven't. Hey, kiddo, I got a kiddo bringing me an item to unlock for her.
Yeah.
No, she's got her learning tablet. She's found here you go. She found earlier an ABC's learning adventure. Here you go.
Dad found it for me.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, well, you're doing good with it. Love you. Go have fun.
Which part did you hear of it?
Which part did I hear of it?
Which part did you part? Which part?
Of the ABC's thing? Which part?
Yeah,
I liked rocking out to the part with A, B, and C. That was pretty good.
Me too.
You too? Yeah, we'll go rock out to it, kiddo.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, rock out. Yeah, that's exactly. She's like, rock out.
So cute. That little voice.
She's one of the things she says with stuff. You know, I'll be like, yeah, baby, with stuff, and she's picked that up. So she's like, yeah, baby. I'd let her get out of the room real quick. There we go. All right.
I'll go grab it. Oh, that would be great, because I'd really like to see if I think it's probably a fake number, but
Probably.
But yeah, if you could let me know, that would be great.
Do you know how to spell Greg's last name?
Wait. Did she just ask about the number and say if you could let me know the number?
Yep, and they're going to give it to her.
That goes against everything they're supposed to do. You know.
I know. This is the thing. Like, I hope they actually didn't give it to her and they were just blowing smoke up her ass. Maybe they were, but they said yes, they would give it to her. Now, if somebody calls the police for a wellness check, I'm sure that they are not expecting the police to take their number and give it to the person they're going to check on. This person,
especially a friend. They're noting like a friend. You're worried about your friend, and you want them to be able to, tell you if they're having an issue or something. You want to be able to call in and get them some kind of assistance. Well, Lord, anything could happen with that. It annoys me at so many levels. God, we've seen it. Okay.
I have something for you to pull up. Someone on Twitter has made us a meme, and it's the funniest freaking thing ever.
Okay, show it to me.
Hold on, I gotta share my screen.
Okay. I want to see this real fast. Are you ready for it? Yeah, I can see the little preview there.
Hello, Google.
Google.
That's just me and Tug calling Google on a Saturday night with our breadsticks.
Yeah, we chilling with the breadstick posse. Oh man. Oh Lord. We're like,
hi
yeah.
there, Google.
That's
Can
so
you-
amazing.
Can you
Meanwhile,
take my information off the internet.
it's amazing though. And meanwhile, you have people calling us pond scum and cockroaches and everything else, and they're not like, oh, remove our names. Hey, Google, can you remove my name? I don't want to be known as a cockroach.
I have to have this. I'm screenshotting it right now. It's going in the collection, folks.
That's
It's
beautiful.
going in the collection. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, Lord, that is a good one.
Is it GILLESPIE? Do you know his date of birth by chance, or about how old he is?
I think he's around Laura's age, so I think maybe 89 or 90.
He's 90. He's 89 or 90.
Now you would think that the police officer would know she meant the year.
Yeah.
But he actually asked her, like he thinks she means 89 or 90 years old.
He's
And
90 years old.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're not sending their best, Tug. They're not sending their best.
It's like, damn, Mom, what are you, like 120, 100? You're doing pretty good lately, Oh my God, 89 or 90. That's amazing.
The year he's born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the year he's born. He actually asked that.
Yeah,
the year
he
he's
asked.
born.
I told you, they're not sending their best, Tug.
You got to clarify that one.
I'm glad he clarified that, but not like
Yeah.
where's the evidence that this guy is doing all these Reddit things? You got that?
Well, they were planning to go. She's going to the car to call the Google.
What is she getting in the car?
Okay.
What is she doing?
When I said old boyfriend, I meant old boyfriend.
She got to get her phone.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
89
getting
or
the
90.
number. She's literally
Is he
getting the
white, black,
number.
Hispanic?
That's
He's
jacked
white.
up.
White male.
He's white, yeah.
And he lives here in Scottsdale, you said?
Yeah, I think
I
he
can't
lives
believe
on.
it. She's getting the number.
Okay. Has he been harassing her by stopping by the house at all? Anything like that?
He has gone into her email. They
Holy shit. They're going with the hacking thing. The cops are taking this down.
Mm-hmm.
Holy God, man. That is infuriating.
And they're about this woman cop, the girl cop is about to go give her the phone number of the person who called.
Oh my God, man. This is just nuts.
They dated very briefly, and she became pregnant by him.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
stop. This is the part where if you're the guy maybe I give you that you bought all of this up until this moment. This is the second pregnancy story that this woman just told you about her daughter. How many people go around like in a $1 million house are like, well, she was pregnant by the Bachelor. And then several years ago, she had a very brief affair and she was pregnant by him. I'm sorry, but that's your bullshit meter should be going off like a siren at this point.
Maybe when people start weaving, extraordinarily crazy tales, maybe you should follow up on the reason you went there. The wellness check part. Because if you're met with this level of just insanity at the door, God knows this person could have done something to the person you called about. Anything.
This could be like a misery situation, and these cops are just outside like, we'll just talk to this woman. We don't know who she is. The other one could be inside tied up and bleeding, but we'll just let her go on.
It would have been awesome
Fine.
if she answered the door with a sledgehammer. I would ignore that, I was just chipping away a little extra paint. You're like, what the what?
He was very, shall we say, violent in his effort to get her to have an abortion.
Oh, really?
She
He was
filed an
very
abortion.
Violent in it.
Violent. He was very violent in his effort to have her get an abortion. The hell even is that?
It's amazing how people have redefined the word violence. You know, words are violence now. Words can be horrible and malicious, but
Awful.
violence?
Absolutely freaking awful.
Coercion case against him.
Okay.
Which really ticked him off.
Yeah.
She didn't ask for any money for her. She asked for a charitable donation for abortion coercion. Did you get it? Yeah.
What? Wait. She didn't ask for any money for her. She asked for a charitable donation for abortion coercion. What does that even mean?
I don't even know what that means. I don't know.
I mean, is that a? Let me look that up. Let me find out if there's a.
Is there an abortion coercion charity somewhere?
Abortion coercion charity. Let me find out. There's the Center Against Forced Abortions, actually, huh? The Justice Foundation. I'm curious about that now. I hate these rabbit holes I go down. I'm like, do I ever want to know about this? I kind of do, you know?
It's crazy.
Huh. You know, and what's crazy, I mean, these are terrible topics because, I mean, it is talking about, you know, people forcing individuals, including minors, to have these procedures done. And I mean, like I said, that's terrible. And they're weaponizing that too.
Okay, let me see here.
That's how I feel too. Beep.
I'm trying to find my text so I can text myself.
1565.
Here, I was gonna say. Okay.
So she gave him the number there, right? That's what she's doing.
Yeah, she gave the number.
That is fucked, dude. That I'm curious about the I'm curious about the legality with doing something like that. Again, somebody calls in.
This can't be legal. That if you call in, they get no. You know what? By the way, it's not, because if you call in anything to the police, like, and you call anything in, I don't care what it is, and then I FOIA that report, right? They always redact personal. Redacted. They always redact personal information like phone numbers and addresses. Always. So what the hell?
She's allowing her to.
Carrie B has a good point. Carrie B says, Mama Owens just said, "Hey, officer, my daughter will sleep with you on the first date." That's basically what she was saying. She sleeps around. She gets knocked up all the time. And what a weird bunch of people these people are.
John makes a good note, too. He says, you know, thanks for the 20. He said, this isn't even the most infuriating case about TROs or family court. That's very true. There's some horrible ones out there. There was this guy who went to jail for 5 years for non-payment, only to go to family court, be justified. His wife had an affair, so the son wasn't his. Yes, I remember us talking about that one night. I think, John, you brought that up, and we went on a search because of that. But it just shows you, I mean, systemically,
I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right.
Okay, I'll hold for a second there. Even if there are laws against this type of behavior, even if you're not, you know, you're supposed to protect sources and you're not supposed to turn over this information, apparently they just throw that right out the window. It's crazy, though. I mean, with the officer going to her car, I thought surely she's doing something else. You know, we were joking about her going to get the number. I mean, it seemed like what she was doing, but I thought surely she's not going to her car and actually pulling up the number for the person that called that in and giving it to somebody. Because as far as harassment, retaliation, yeah, you know, we've heard this crazy story about harassment. We've heard this crazy story about all of these things that are supposedly going on. Well, what might lead to harassment or what might lead to retaliation? Turning over that number. Oh my God, man. I think I might continue just for a minute here. It'd be good. Let's continue.
Actually give them a call to follow up with them.
Okay.
What does Greg drive? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
She didn't.
So this has become all about Greg. Again, we're 10 minutes in. They're taking information about Greg, and there was nothing noted in this about Greg or a person actually going to her home. But this has now become about Greg Gillespie. It's become about Greg Gillespie and stalking him, potentially going to Laura Owens' home. Again, you saw the allegations about violence. Again, the choice of words, too. They paint a picture. She's trying to paint a specific type of picture here that paints him not in the worst light possible, but paints him even worse than that. It paints him in a volatile way. So they run across him. Who knows what they might know? Who knows what they might attach to his name? You know, you go and you look this guy up. God knows what kind of stuff is mentioned there. You know, also if a wellness check comes in, do they say to ignore the wellness check? Again, what if Laura Owens really does have some kind of issue? They go to do a wellness check, and they look at the notation about this, and they find out, no, all of this stuff actually, Greg Gillespie. I wonder if they're inputting this as part of their report. You know they are. You know they've got to be going through and inputting his name as part of that, as harassment. I mean, and considering he already has an order, God knows.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, they started asking. I went a couple of seconds ahead.
That's fine.
They asked Greg's what he's driving. So this has become all about Greg.
I know.
Suddenly.
It's absolutely infuriating.
Because you can't tell this is a wellness check. If you were to cut off the very beginning where, you know, it told me that this was that, if we didn't have a title on that, I wouldn't know that this was a wellness check. I would think this is a harassment complaint.
Was saying that
that's what it turned
my
into,
daughter
yeah.
briefly dated this Greg guy, and in 2021, I guess, and she had become pregnant by him, and he was very violent in his effort to persuade her to take abortion pills, and she filed an abortion coercion case against him, not seeking any money, but saying, you know, nobody should be, you know, taking you by the mouth and forcing pills down your throat.
What?
To get you, you know.
Taking you by the mouth?
Is that what they do to the horses? They take them by the... That's what I do to my dog when he needs to have a pill. You know, I grab his mouth and I open it real wide. I throw it down there and I slam his mouth shut and I rub his throat so he has to swallow it. It's the only way. Is that... This is like... It sounds like people who their only experience with this is with animals. You can't grab a person by the mouth and shove pill. Come on. This is like Amber Heard saying he grabbed me by the pubic bone.
I mean, her whole narrative anyway was you did this through texts. So now it's become a physical altercation. They have him quite literally grabbing her by the mouth and forcing pills down. I mean, that's a serious crime. We're talking about the allegation here is a serious crime that you just threw out there. Oh, God, we never heard anything like that before either. You know, we've heard that.
It's not in the legal paperwork either that she filed. She filed nothing that said he grabbed her by the mouth and shoved pills down her throat. And in fact, in all the text messages, she wasn't with him when she allegedly took the pills. But of course, there were no pills. She never took any pills. It was all a scam.
That's just nuts, man.
You know, to have an abortion. And so this really started all of his anger against her. And she was able to get a protective order against him. And, you know, it's just like I say, this whole thing has, once he found out, you know, that she was pregnant by the Bachelor guy, then he was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go tell him this stuff. And he's made lies. I mean, absolute, he's made crazy things. He's posted online stuff saying that that he went to high school with her, which he never did. I mean, he's
What?
posted on his fake accounts.
Stop.
Wait.
He never said he went to high school with her. There are literally people who did go to high school with her posting on Reddit and telling stories. She's pretending like no one actually went to high school with her that might be interested in this story.
No, all the 65,000 people that are on Bachelor Nation. Did you realize that tens of thousands of people are actually all Greg Gillespie? That's amazing.
They're all me. It's all me, baby. It's all Greg. Just Greg. I'm the greatest at everything. I have nothing to do but post on hundreds of Reddit accounts every day, all day long. I don't go to work. I don't go to sleep. I post on Reddit, and I hack people's computers and phones.
That's actually what Laura does. She posts all day and reads shit all day long. I mean, that's what we found out about her. You know, she resides online. She reads everything that's about her. She reads all the posts there, and you have to wonder, like how much of her narratives are retaliation, and how much of these are just whacked out in her head conspiracy. I wonder if she believes any of this stuff, because if she does,
I think
that's
she just
dangerous.
tells people what she's doing, but she blames it on somebody else.
Yeah, you see that a lot with abusive people. You know, they take and they blame other people for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You see that quite a bit. A lot of cases we've covered. You know, we've had people they push that on. Yeah, they push it right onto the victim. And it works, unfortunately. You know, it works because in this day and age, you know, we are in the age of false allegation and them sticking. Now, there are a lot of terrible people. I'm not saying every allegation is false. I'm saying that we are in an age of false allegation, though, where apparently we've seen it over and over again, and yet people are too dumb to fucking wake up and realize it's real.
Saying that he knew her in high school and that she was pregnant by a developmentally disabled kid, the father of somebody else, the principal.
Wait, what?
Okay. The only thing I heard was that she may have, and this is just a rumor, it's not substantiated, nobody knows. Somebody posted they went to high school with her, and there was some similar allegation of against a teacher at her school. And allegedly everyone knew she was lying, and you know, it was really bad for the teacher or whatever. I've not been able to corroborate that. I don't know if that was just someone who just made that up. But now she's saying a mentally disabled person and the principal or an administrator. Like, this is her mother now saying this.
Wait, so she took advantage of a developmentally disabled kid? Is that what the narrative she's trying to... I don't know.
She's saying that this is what Greg, pretending to be someone else on Reddit, said.
That's... what? You would think, like, this story would raise quite a few red flags with the police officers that are just sitting here. They'd be like, yeah, maybe this is just all crazy.
School principal. I mean, things that are so unbelievably outrageous. I mean, it's just like, it's to really, I think, try to discredit her again, so that when her order against him comes up, that it'll look like, oh, wow, you look at this stuff online, man, you know. So
there is a current order of protection against him.
Yes, okay. There is, and
was
like
that
I say, it
filed through
expires
Scottsdale
or
county? Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, and the guy is unhinged. I mean, I had no.
Sounds like it.
I had no clue when, you know.
Sounds like it. So they agreed with this narrative, by the way.
And they've done absolutely zero investigation. They, you know, look, all I know is maybe these police officers are young. Maybe they, you know, haven't been duped enough times before. But this is not the way you should behave as a police officer. You are supposed to be, for one, a peacekeeper. You're supposed to be a neutral party. And you are supposed to listen and write down the stuff. And then you say thank you and you go and check it all out. Before you make any pronouncements of whether you believe something or say, he doesn't need to make those comments. Like, sounds like it. Like, what the hell? Okay, the chat disagrees with me. The chat thinks that the cops are barely speaking and they're just like playing along to placate.
Once they went, they dug up the number. They gave the number to her. They're giving, again, they're giving her advice about, yeah, you need to go and you need to file this order. You need to go and you need to do that. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're just brushing it off.
I don't think if they were brushing it off, they'd be gone by now. They would have been like, okay, that's it. That's all we came for. We're out of here now. We don't have time for this. Like, if they didn't buy this, they would not be standing here and encouraging her to continue.
Well, and again, there was a specific reason they're there, and we're 11 minutes in, and they still haven't asked about seeing. Oh, got to get it. Hey, you want to turn this?
Yeah, they haven't asked about seeing her. Absolutely, and they should have. Now they've turned it into what? Now she's making a complaint against Greg Gillespie, and she's trying to get them to go over and get Greg, lock him up.
The little one came down here. She can't hear us, by the way. All this is contained in my headphones. So, all right, go upstairs. Hey. Huh? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to Megan. Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Yep. And I'm talking. Huh? Tell her to love her. All right. Will you send your love? You send your love to the chat too?
Aww.
You send your love to the chat too? Okay.
Oh, I love you too, baby. Oh, so cute.
Someone sent me candy money.
Oh, well, you heard her, chat.
Yeah. She was like, I hope somebody sends me candy money.
Bug wants candy money.
Oh, my
God. I'm going to have to go send her some candy money now. Here it comes.
That's amazing.
Tell her I'm sending her candy money.
She'll be
now.
back, I'm sure. She'll be back. By the way, that what John was talking about, the case, the Manser versus Sir, that when John emailed me that or something, so I'll remember to look it up again because I want to pull it up and actually read through everything I can find on that. I looked it up. We looked it up live once, but I'd like to go farther with that. Box for Life. Thanks for the. Can Megan send the police department a press inquiry about this interaction? Now, with them currently with the investigation and everything that's going on, I don't think that would be.
Yeah, I started to write one. I started to, and then I have not sent it. I'm going to wait a minute because we do have an investigation going on into Laura that the county attorney is doing, and I don't want to cause any disruption in that. So it can wait. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. But I don't know. I guess there's one of two things going on here. They really aren't buying this, and they're just placating this woman, and they don't have anything else to do. They don't have a Dunkin' Donuts to get to right away or anything after this. So they're just letting her talk, and they're not going to do anything.
Hey, let's keep it going.
Or the other thing is they really are buying it. Now they're going to go bother Greg Gillespie. I guess we'll have to
That's
find
what it feels like. I mean, again, they're asking about the order of protection and all of that stuff, I'm looking through the super chats like in the moment because I'm trying to figure out a way to time things where they're relevant. I still never figured that out, by the way, but I was made things in there on Google. That was suggest COOF in the search suggestions, even in incognito mode. Never mind the fact that COOF is over for 99% of the world. Utterly ridiculous, even 4.5 years later. Well, what they do is they suggest all kinds of things that have nothing to do with what I'm searching. That's true for sure. Angie's Wave, thanks for the 2 asks if Greg Gillespie could file a defamation claim for this public info. It'd be interesting to see, considering all of the stuff that he's gone through and everything that's come out, what he could actually do. I am curious about that. And Laura Owens, fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 2. I don't have horses. I have 3-foot-tall ponies. That's true. Again, maybe it's easier to shove pills down their throats. Let's see. I'll hit all the candy money, but there were some candy monies in there too. Look at all that.
I sent one too.
Oh my God, I'll hit all those in a little bit. Oh man,
You should have her come down and say that every single time you stream.
Lord. She's funny about it. She was like, on my birthday, can I have a candy streams? And I was like, a candy stream? I didn't even think, when she said that, I was like, are you asking to go to the candy store? She said, no, a candy stream. I was like, oh, you mean on the computer? No, you can't have a candy stream. What in the world?
Oh, that's funny.
It's hilarious.
She wants the
though.
grift for her candy. Yeah,
Hey, I don't blame her, man. I don't blame her. She's like
She knows.
candy store baby. That's actually what
she knows the chat's going to support that effort.
Hey, that's what she wanted for her birthday. So we took her. There's a candy shop up here. You know, like they got that old timey look with all the candy sitting out and stuff. Took her down there, and I gave her money for it. I was like, pick out whatever you want. Boy, it was like I spoke her. You know, that into. She was like, oh yeah. She asked for that, and she wanted one of those little kid recliners. You know, the little kid chairs. She wanted one of those, and her favorite color yellow. So it was delayed. It came today. So she got that. So she's been set. She's like, oh, candy, and I can recline. Good times. It's so funny.
Candy and recliner.
Yeah,
That's
she
great.
asked for that. I was like, that's hilarious. She wanted candy, and she wanted to be able to recline, sit back, and enjoy it. And it's just, I was
God,
like,
that's
man.
funny.
Yeah, you sound like a 45-year-old, not a 5-year-old there. I'm going to
it's
kick back
good
and enjoy
times.
my candy. Yeah.
I had said to her when she wanted to file this abortion coercion case in the first place, I said, you know what, just let sleeping dogs lie, just be done with him and everything like that. And she was like, no, I feel really strongly about what he did and the way he did it to me.
So her mama supposedly said, you need to let this stuff drop. So even the people around her are like, hey, this is not good what you're doing. And she's like, no, I've got to go after them. I've got to go after them.
I mean, I do sort of believe this. I think that her parents probably do want her to stop doing this because they have to pay for all of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They pay for the bill, you know. Lawsuits, as we've noticed, you know, we were talking about the Hells, you know, the recent discussion there, and you know everything that's come up with the grudge judge. You know, but the other thing was it's cost 6 figures plus to get to that point. So this stuff is not cheap. All these lawsuits.
And I bet she does want her to stop. But I think it also shows they can't control her.
Oh, no. But you know what? They definitely, they encourage. I mean, this is enabling behavior right here. 100%. Because if I recited... she would either be the most unlucky person in the world because her mom is talking about all the way back to high school, you know, and like rumor swirls that go on. And then she knows she's been there from Mancini, Gillespie, Echard, you know, plus others. I mean, look at that level of behavior all the way through. Maybe the common denominator isn't all these random guys. It's Laura Owens. Maybe she's the problem. Maybe the parents are the problem too. I don't know. Maybe.
You know, the problem is when you have a kid, and this is where I do feel some sympathy for her parents, and I can't help myself because I know people who have children who have problems like personality disorders and serious problems. And when you have a kid with a serious problem and they can't keep a job or they can't function the way that other people do, good parents feel obligated to keep them going, to keep them okay and pay for their lives and make sure that they eat and make sure. And that, of course, is very honorable, right? It's very noble. What would you do if you had a kid like this? It's a difficult question because no matter what you do, you're wrong. No matter what you do, if you put her out on the street, she's still going to be doing this somehow to somebody. If you keep her in your house, now you're the enabler. And so I do feel some bit of empathy because I can't answer the question, you guys, what would I do? I can't tell you. I don't know.
Well, as a parent, I mean, I think that is different. I think they know, though, that she has some type of
they know
illness issue for sure.
They know,
you know.
But the problem is, what do you do with that? You don't. What do you do?
I know.
Should they have? You can't commit an adult child, first of all. So once they turn 18, you can't have them committed anywhere. You have to have their permission.
I cut off that money spigot for lawsuits. That for sure.
You could do that, yes, and I think they should do that. They should absolutely do that. But I just, I don't know. I know a lot of people who struggle with similar situations, whereas their kids are not like suing everyone, but there's been problems, and I just feel for the parents because I don't know what the right answer is. It's not like we've got this great mental health care, or that the mental health in this, in the world in general is any good anyway, because it is a, you work in it. Like, there's not a cure for these things. It is a ongoing battle, a lifelong battle, and it's not easy.
I feel societally, though, if we were talking about a male perpetrator, we would have a much
he'd be
different
in jail.
view. Yeah. I mean, they would have put his ass in jail very quickly off this, and we wouldn't even be having the discussions about that. And these are, I mean, again, you have a point. I mean, as a parent, I can't imagine my kids being in a situation where I'd have to make those kind of terrible decisions, but I would hope, when your kid gets to the point that they're destroying other people's lives, and it's become a recreational hobby for them. They've been doing this for the better part of decades, holy God. Oh, that is messed up.
I know somebody whose daughter is similar, and she goes to therapy, which her parents pay for, and lies to the therapist. So the lie, I mean, it never, the help she's supposed to be getting, she's not getting because she's lying to the therapist even. And it never changes. Nothing ever changes.
You see these enablers. So, like, as a therapist, I had a kid that would act out all the time, doing stuff, just terrible stuff, it's school behaviors. And one time the parents brought the kid in, they were upset because the kid had taken their rent money and spent their rent money on like a PlayStation with a bunch of games. And they were like, what do we do with this? And I was like, you need to take that PlayStation, you need to go and you need to make a point there. This stuff is not okay. You're going to have to draw a line. And that was the worst thing, that they were like, oh no, that's too much. I was like, the kid stole your rent money. Come on. You're enabling this behavior. If you don't stop it, where does it stop? And they weren't willing to do it. You see a lot of enablers, a lot of bad behavior. And yeah, you run into some serious mental health issues too along the way. Unfortunately, when we talk about this though, that she has victims. So, the hypothetical what ifs there. I mean, I think
this is why the police are the ones who need to handle this. The law is the one that needs to handle this, because her parents are not equipped to handle it. And parents are really not equipped to handle these things. At some point, it becomes the job of the state. If you've tried what you can do and it's not working, and there's still, I don't know what the answer is.
You say the parents are not equipped. I say the state, the way that they perceive things, they look at the enforcement law. I say they're not equipped.
Clearly,
Yeah.
These two are giving out phone numbers of the person who called. I mean, they're not. They're not even doing even a modicum of investigation, like by asking Detective Reedy what the hell is going on here. Oh, by the way, though, I did find out that, at least I believe, that Greg did not get a visit after this. So I think it's very possible that they went back to the station, filed their report, and Detective Reedy got a hold of it and killed that. That's very possible, because it doesn't look like there was any visit to Greg after this.
Well, at least that's good, because there shouldn't have been. With them, it's just worrisome when they're asking about what kind of vehicle does he drive, and all these other things that again, they've turned it into a stalking complaint, not a wellness check anymore.
And so, she went ahead with it, and as I say, it just started this torrent of really, really bad stuff. But anyway, I appreciate it. And
no problem.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look into trying to get any information you can removed online, because they had your name too.
They did. What did they have? As
Elizabeth.
Okay, that's my given name. Jan is my nickname. Jan's the name I
And
use.
then Robert. What was it? When I took a picture of it, just
Oh, okay. Yeah.
they have your husband's name too.
Okay, Ron.
Ron.
Okay.
So, and
No.
this address. So
Yeah.
I would definitely try to see whatever you can remove from online.
Yeah. No, they've been trying to post on our social media stuff. They've posted on her social media stuff. They've and this guy, as I say, when she was going out with him, he said, like, well, I'm really suspicious of people, so would you give me your passwords, because I wouldn't want to think, I want everything to be I want us to trust each other. So
What? It's turned into the hacking thing again, When we were going out, give me your passwords.
Yeah, again, there's no evidence of any of this. This is just what Laura says.
But what does that have to do with it? I don't even understand how this works into. There wasn't something stated that was from an account that Laura had or something like that. And, again, this information, who are her parents? Well, I mean, that's out there. I mean, people can look at her social media. They can see who her parents are. The name's out there. They had their show and everything else. So, I mean, it's not like you had to have insider information to find that out. Ugh.
She was like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. So he's gone in to her emails from years and years ago. Mm-hmm. And
wait, she should never change her password?
I guess, yeah. So and then that's the other thing. Did she already say that he asked for her Jan's Wi-Fi password? Did she say that yet? Because she's going to say that, and I'm thinking, well, just change your fucking password, lady. Like, what is the problem? So you give out your password, and then you accuse someone of hacking into your account if they use it, but I don't think he used it, and I don't think she gave it to anybody. I think this is all a bunch of lies.
Well, you could be able to prove this too. You could actually prove, you get warnings if people are accessing your accounts from somewhere that's, not one of your connecting areas. So you actually get warnings with that. And if there was some shred of evidence that this was happening, this would be a violation of the orders. That protective order would definitely include, getting into, her electronics, spying on her and more. Oh yeah. That would be a real problem for him too.
And doctored emails and sent them as though they were from her. He's doctored letterhead.
Sure he did.
He did come here one time when she was dating him.
I'm freaking awesome.
The first thing he said, hey, I need your parents' Wi-Fi information. He was out here and he said, I need their Wi-Fi. What's their password and stuff like that. So he's been doing
If later when you speak to Laura, like I said, I won't necessarily want to wake her up, but if she wants to speak with someone from the police department about everything that's been going on lately.
Yeah, by all means, let's waste up more of our time.
Okay, so again, this has become a harassment complaint. So it is. This has gone from a wellness check where they're not even going to wake up Laura Owens to when she wakes up, we don't want to really burden her there. But when she wakes up, if she'd like to call about all this stuff that you've said, yeah, like you said, waste more resources. Fun times.
Last week or so.
Right, and she had talked with Detective Reedy, I think,
there's Detective Reedy.
He had sent the stuff and forwarded it to the prosecutors, but the prosecutors just said that they have to be assured of getting a conviction.
Have her reach out to Detective Reedy again and let him know what's going on with this now. That may be able to kind of help maybe refile the charges.
So they just said, again, add to that. For people that are saying, again, they're not they're not taking that seriously. It's out, oh, well, take this wellness check, attribute it to Greg Gillespie, refile on that. Maybe you can actually go after Greg Gillespie with that then. Yeah, so it does sound there. I mean, I understand with people, again, Chad, I get to, when you're looking at that, you want to think, man, these folks, well, they just want to walk away and do that, but they're giving a lot of advice on how to go after Greg Gillespie.
I think what his thing was that it would be difficult for him to be able to prove, she was suspicious of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, we pretty, there's nobody else who would have the motive to do
It
that.
is, it is difficult
It's hard
to
to
prove
prove
with
it,
the-
yeah.
It's the proving because he goes under fake names. He, like I say, he obviously, doctor. Did they say what their concern was when they called?
Suicidal comments.
Okay, well, because when she posted this thing on Medium, she had written in there that this unrelenting, this has gone on for months, that this had made her feel borderline suicidal.
Okay.
So, but she.
So that comment right there says that anybody could have taken what she said off of Medium. They could have looked at that and they could have had legitimate concerns about her mental health. Yeah. So I mean, she just defeated her whole stance of Greg Gillespie. She posted this to Medium. She posted it to, of course, she's going. People that know her are definitely going to see that, and she's saying, "Hey, all of this is giving me borderline suicidal thoughts." Oh yeah. I can see somebody
you're absolutely right. Right there, these cops should have been like, wait a minute, I thought you said Greg Gillespie it was a prank. Now you're telling me she wrote something that said she was borderline suicidal. I think we need to see her now.
Yeah.
What? But they don't. Look at them. They don't.
No, they're not going to lay eyes. I mean, they're already ready to bounce. Give some advice and then bounce. And it's a failure on so many levels.
She said the borderline suicidal thing, but that's not,
Yeah,
It's not the case.
right. It's like she had said to me, like, oh my God, how much more of this can I take?
Right.
Does she have any friends in New York?
My daughter lives in New York. My other daughter lives in New York, but she's well aware of what's going on. No, she.
Oh, so does she have any? Oh, well, by the way, there's a question there. Well, does she actually have friends from the area? Again, he's still attributing this to New York. When we talked about the 415 being in California, I'm surprised they didn't blame it on like Mike Marancini. Isn't that all set up from California?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just can't believe that these people are giving her this level
amount
of
advice
attention.
and attention.
I can't. I mean, this is just like I would have already been, even without knowing the story, I would have been like, ma'am, I need to see your daughter now. It's time for us to see her. So you need to go and wake her up. And we're going to check on her and make sure that she's okay. Because that's what we're here to do today.
Well, what if she had gone in, making these statements? Again, she had said that. This woman here is saying, no, that's not true. But what if she had, and again, she had done something terrible, tragic, and these people didn't lay eyes on her?
Yeah, this is really unadvisable. I think in that case, her parents would have a reason to sue the city.
Mm-hmm.
They're opening themselves up to liability, and it's just it's weird. I swear to God, some people though, they can just, something we should remember about Jan Black is that she was on the air for many years as a reporter. She has a very good speaking voice. I've heard some people say that she's kind of mesmerizing the way that she talks. But I think police need better training than this. They need better training to suss out bullshit and to also do the job that they were called there to do.
That's what they need to do right there. That 100%. I wonder about their protocol. I wonder what their protocol says about not laying eyes on the person. Again, just taking somebody's word in that last minute, everything that she said has totally validated that. Because I would be looking at those statements and saying, well, there is a legitimate concern here. Maybe we do need to talk to her at least for, a couple of minutes just to see what's going on.
And she would contact you directly.
Of course. And Laura talks to her like twice, like 2 hours a day. They're on the phone. So.
Oh God, that poor girl.
In there like 5 minutes before you guys.
But they said again, okay, well, there's somebody. But would she make contact there? Oh yeah, of course. Okay, well, maybe she again just playing devil's advocate on them. Maybe somebody did voice their concerns. They thought, hey, she's in a very bad, terrible place. She's not going to listen to me. Maybe they called in a wellness check. They don't know. Again, I don't think that's what happened here, but I don't know. I mean, and again, the cops definitely don't know.
Guys rang, and the reason she lives in the casita, and the reason I left was because she said, hey, I'm spent from all this. I just want to close my eyes for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
When did she post that?
when did she post the medium thing?
She said yesterday.
Yesterday?
No, it was before yet. I mean, it was on there yesterday, but I want to say it was maybe today's Tuesday, maybe Friday night or Saturday.
Okay, that kind of goes with the timeline. I'm going to give this to you. Not that.
Okay, so finally, that they actually paid attention to the reason they should be there. They were asking some questions about, hey, wait a minute, that thing that she posted where she mentioned this stuff, maybe we should ask about that.
Mm-hmm. That
She's gonna
took
give her
long
some-
enough.
Yeah. It's going to give her some information here. Let's see.
You guys are in crisis, but
Yeah.
they might be able to kind of help, just give her someone else to talk to, or that they have resources that we don't even know exist.
Oh, really?
Reach out, they might be able
What?
to help you put
Stop.
guys in a-
Let me tell you about all these resources that I know about that this place has that I don't know exists. What? And the weird part is she's going to say that twice. They have resources that we don't even know exist. I don't know what that means. And that
What does that mean? I don't know. They have these magical resources. Like, they just crank them out. We don't even know where they come from. It's magic. They come from under the ground. It's like oil. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, this is bizarre. These magic resources that I don't even know exist, but somehow I know to tell you about them.
And she's giving it again to her mother, though. So I'm going to give you crisis support information where I feel that she just said, well, I don't think that applies. Okay, well, she's made that determination based off of another person. She's still under protocol. I'm sure this is part of their protocol here. They give the information, but they give this to someone else. They didn't actually give it to Laura Owens. And we know Laura Owens is...
How do we know that Laura wasn't making those statements because of something her mother did? You know what I mean? The police have no idea. All they know is that this woman is telling them a story. They don't know if it's real.
What they know here is that there's a woman that's 89 or 90 years old. I'm sorry. 89
Yeah,
or
exactly.
90. But she's she sounds like she may be in crisis again. So they
never checked.
They don't.
good direction.
Okay.
And also reach out to Detective Reed again and
And just
there's
say that this has been going on.
Yeah,
and-
let him know what's been happening, and
Yeah.
that way he's kind of apprised of it too. So it might be able to help kind of open a different door, a different direction. But reach out to him again.
Okay.
These guys have a lot of resources that we don't even know exist.
Okay.
So give them a call.
Okay.
We don't
yeah,
even know
can't hurt.
exist.
No.
I mean, because like she had said,
I'd like to know what the place is that they're linking, by the way. I'd like to know what their specific, their assistance line is.
I think it was something crisis center. Something I heard.
So they just have a... So I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see what their crisis center is for Arizona.
she had tried to be anonymous with this whole thing initially with the pregnancy with the bachelor guy, and then people were saying, well, wait, you can, or this guy was starting the conversation that, wait, you can Google the case, and then her name comes up, and it's Laura Owens, and she's a podcaster. She and I do a podcast, and we've done it for I guess since 2017, and iTunes named us one of the top 25 most downloaded new podcasts in 2018. So we've had success with it. But I mean, this is just, she really had wanted to stay under the radar on this.
Success is very
She finally
subjective.
decided,
She had one of the top 25 most downloaded.
Probably because she paid for it.
I mean, is that true though?
No, it's not. It's not true. It's obviously they've done something to fabricate that. I don't know how. Like you can buy your downloads. Solari Crisis. I think that's what she said. Solari Crisis. That's in Tempe, though. Would they have sent her someplace all the way to Tempe? Tempe is not that far from. It's not that far from Scottsdale, but it's like 20 minutes. I guess that's not that bad. But
I'm just curious, again, that's nothing on the crisis place. I'm curious how good their crisis is. A lot of the places, they fell on that level. I get curious from the mental health aspect of it. I want to know about these magical resources that we've never heard of before.
Yeah, actually, Tempe is not that far. I went to school in Tempe, so it's not far from Scottsdale. But it's you gotta hop on the 101, which nobody likes to do. But the Solari Crisis and Human Services is a mental health service in Tempe, Arizona. We're ready to help with any crisis, they say. Professionally trained crisis intervention specialists. They deal with thoughts of self-harm, experiencing substance use or mental health challenges.
So that's got to be their protocol. In this situation, that has to be 100% their protocol to hand that out. Again, and the reason I note protocol, because they follow protocol with that, but there's no protocol for laying eyes on the person.
And actually giving the resources to the person who's having the problem. I mean, I don't know. This is just very weird to me.
It blows my mind.
Hey, this guy is controlling the narrative, and I have to speak out. I have to explain what's been going on, because otherwise she was feeling like she was getting no support from anybody, because she didn't really want to go.
So she has one of the top 25 most downloaded podcasts, but she doesn't have a voice.
And it's about mental health, and she has no support from anybody. Top 25 downloaded mental health podcast, but no support. What? None of this makes any
sense. None of it does. None of it.
Tell her friends and everything like that this was all going on. Yeah. So it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But I really appreciate you guys commenting.
Yeah, we'll put comments in there so they know.
Okay. Officer Hranick was the guy who contacted her the other night. Yeah.
So we'll put comments in there with the address, and then it'll come up in the history, and we can go back and read through the comments. So we'll try to do that to kind of help you guys out a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I find that distressing too, because again, if there was a real need, are you going to run across comments that say do not take calls from this address or to this address?
Yeah, very strange. And to my knowledge, there were only 3 calls that were made over this entire thing, which is not that many. And they were all 3 of them made when she made specific statements about self-harm. One was when she said it to the FBI. Yeah. The other one was
they themselves calling in.
Right.
I mean, I think that needs to be stressed there. It wasn't just some random. She made statements. They found her statements distressing. They called in and were like, "Hey, maybe you should check on this person."
As far as I know, every single wellness check was precipitated by a statement of Laura's about self-harm.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay, 25 more seconds.
I really appreciate it. Anything.
I know.
No problem. Hey, wait, I've got something for you guys. Hang on one sec.
Oh, God, she's going to give them...
She's going to get the sledgehammer.
She's getting candy.
Here. I hope this isn't bribing.
Would you like candy? What is that? Money?
Those are Russell Stover candy bars. It's sad. I can tell you the brand because we go to the Russell Stover outlet. Yeah, they're there. Those are good, actually. They're very good. The outletter. Russell Stover has a big factory down in Tennessee, so we have outletters all over the place. We have one down the road. My kids love going there, but they'll buy those.
So she finessed them with her magical radio voice, and then she gave them candy. Mm-hmm.
Not cheap candy, good candy too.
Good candy.
Yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, hook me up. If it's a bribe, I mean, that's like however much of their Russell Stover candy bucks. I'd be like, hook me up. I'm not that cheap of a date. Hook me up with 5 or 6 of those, baby. Oh man.
Chocolate. So, well,
thank you so
much. All right,
thank
you. Have a good day. All right, you too. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
Are they supposed to accept things like that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just curious about that. I wouldn't eat, like, if I'm at a mental health wellness check, I don't think I would accept candy from somebody just to say.
Especially not from somebody with those weird things hanging on the wall.
Man, look at all these freaking police calls that are on here, too. Check this out. Here's Snitchel Ninja's uploads. Check all these. All the police calls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, look at all that.
Does she have the one from the FBI agent? Because that one is unbelievable.
What was the date on that?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, no, I shouldn't ask you.
I know. Don't ask me.
Does anybody know the date on that right off the bat in chat?
Yeah, can somebody help me? Because I am clearly not cut out for this tonight.
You are.
No,
you are
that one should
impaired.
be easy. That one should be easy to find. Hold on. I actually can find that one. That one shouldn't be hard.
And there's a bunch. But yeah, Snitchel Ninja has been busy on that. By the way, I want to give them props because they should be subscribed to.
Oh, absolutely. Schnitzel Ninjas.
Yeah, I was about to say I am subscribed. That isn't subscribed. I was just like, wait a minute, because it looked, I was like, what?
12/4/23 is the FBI call. 12/4/23.
No.
12/4. Wait a minute. What date was that? The one we just watched. 12/11. Holy cow! So that Medium article probably well, no, it was the Medium article and the FBI, the call she made to the FBI, which was all at the same time. Wow. Sorry, the 12th. Yes. So the 12th, they go out there on that one, but on the what did I say? The 4th of the same month.
So a week before
it was the FBI. A week before, and they have no notes in their system about this. That's very concerning. That's very concerning. Does she have 12/4s on there?
No, I don't see it on there.
That's so weird. Dave has it because Dave has played it. Let me see if I can find it on Dave's channel.
See if you see it real quick.
Because I've heard it.
That one. Yeah.
I have heard it on Dave's channel. Let me check let me search his page.
Let me just look up Laura Owens FBI. Let me see if that pops up.
Yeah.
Owens FBI. Well, a minute. I see his insane call to the police videos on there. Man, her TEDx too. Like when you look her up. Okay, so I looked up just to show you Laura Owens FBI. Okay, these are my returned. I get Dave because it may be I need to look at this under. Give me 1 second. I need to look under an anonymous filter because I follow Dave. So following Dave may actually bias the result. I'm curious if her results actually pop up. Give me 1 second. I'm looking this up on my phone. I'm looking it up under a anonymous filter. I want to see what comes up with Laura Owens FBI on its own. I want to see if she is her first. That Medium article is the first hit. FBI.
I am not seeing it. Oh, wait, let's see. I've got weaponizes sheriff and FBI to intimidate journalists. That one I remember. That was when he was reading the FBI statement or whatever that he had.
That Medium article is, or that TED Talk rather. I said Medium. That TED Talk article or thing is still there.
I know. Isn't that unbelievable? Isn't that sick? And they won't even respond. They just won't even respond.
We'll look at how they describe this. Here, let's look at the description of her. Give me 1 minute here. Trigger warning: discussions of abuse for Laura Owens. Everything boils down to stories, whether it's stories we tell ourselves.
A lot of stories.
Daughter of. So look, they talk about, so they were talking, again, you would only know those names, the parents' names if you were Greg Gillespie, right? Wait a minute. Check that out. Right there. And again, this is from, what, how long ago? 2 years? Yeah, 2022. So it has those names right there in black and white. They put the names of the parents in there. So yeah, so it wouldn't be just like a Greg Gillespie that has access to this information.
Yeah, this, and also, like, she always complained about her number being doxxed. She published her own phone number on her website, and her address, by the way, all on her website, because she had the address of her horse farm and blah blah blah. Like, it's exhausting.
Look at that. This is crazy. I hit that.
I'm gonna ask Dave if he can send it to me, because I'm not finding it.
There's that supposed note. Dear girlfriend.
Oh, did you know? Did you know about the handwriting analyst that looked at this next to her other handwriting?
Yeah, and said that it was her handwriting.
No. He said it wasn't. He said it's
it was
not
her
handwriting.
handwriting? Okay.
No, yeah, he said it's not. But the stuff he got from her actual handwriting was so on the nose. He said that she was not he said she was as sharp as a bowling ball. That's what he said about her. As sharp as a bowling ball. And that she's not playing with a full deck, and that she's vicious. She's angry, vicious, and not very smart. He said that doesn't mean she can't pretend to be smart or do devious things, but she's about as smart as as sharp as a bowling ball. That made me laugh.
I'm not. Is that a video or something?
Yeah, yeah. It's a video. It's a little hard to get through, and like I think that's one you need some timestamps for. Let me look. I'll send it to you in the private chat.
Okay.
I had reached out to him, and he gets a lot of stuff wrong because he didn't really listen to what I was saying. I don't think, which is okay. It was a long time ago when I reached out to this guy. I reached out. He's a handwriting expert he's like a teacher of handwriting analysis on YouTube. And I reached out to ask him, hey, if you ever want to do a class on this, can you have your class like look at this napkin and her writing and tell me if it's the same? And I told him a little bit about the story, but you know how convoluted the story is, that
Right.
It's so hard to get across to somebody in a short email. So, he kind of got it mixed up. He thinks that Laura was a contestant on The Bachelor, which is funny. he thinks that she got knocked up by The Bachelor on the show, which was
on
funny.
the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
So he makes a lot of like silly mistakes like that, which of
Did you ever
course
see that? Did you ever
are
find
going to
that
drive her
FBI?
crazy.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever find that FBI thing or no?
No, the FBI, I'm asking Dave. I sent him a
Oh, yeah.
text, but check your private chat. Because actually, only a 25-minute video. And if you go to, let me see, I was laughing out loud at some of the things. And this guy does not know anything about this case. And you can tell because he gets so many of the details wrong about the case. But about her handwriting and what he sees in it, every single thing is so spot on. It's incredible. And so if you skip the first part where he's just telling what he thinks happened in this story.
I see where he pulls up a note.
And you go to you have to go
2 minutes in or farther?
Past 6 minutes.
Okay.
It's probably right around the 6-minute mark where he's 6:32.
6:32. Is that where I should jump?
Oh no, go back. Oh, right at 6 minutes. Oh yeah,
Okay.
6 minutes.
Right at 6 minutes. Oh.
Or 5. No, it's before that. Hold on.
You were confusing me, Megan.
Sorry. Okay, it's right around. Go to the 5-minute mark. So let's start at 5 minutes. Start there.
You're like, hey, let's go to no, not that one. Let's go.
Look, I'm doing it live. We're doing it live. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
We'll do it live. Do it live. Okay. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right here.
All right. Yep, right there.
But today is the day that they want to live for.
Right. So whatever opportunity is in front of them, they take it.
Yep.
Right. So would you call that mature or immature?
Immature.
Wholly immature. would you think this woman is a genius or kind of a dumbass?
She's not. I mean,
no one's going to use that word. You guys are so nice.
That is slow in the writing.
Slow diplomatic. You won't do it. Well, you won't use a bad word. She's not very bright. At least that's how I see it. Now, that doesn't mean she can't be methodical. That doesn't mean she can't be good in school. But I'm not seeing it. I'm just, it's not blowing my mind of her deep level of intellect. Am I wrong about this? I don't want to be judgmental, but I'm not seeing a deep level of intellect.
Didn't we used to call this a bimbo writing?
We did, but I don't think the new generation are allowed to say that.
Bimbo writing.
Bimbo writing. Bimbo writing. Oh my God. And these people don't know her at all. You guys, they have no clue about this. And you can tell they don't know because he goes over the story and it's so wrong. It's just not even funny.
I kind of want to change my writing style. That way I can tell, they'll be like, oh my God, that Tug, would you look at it? He's showcasing bimbo writing. I'll be like, oh, right, bimbo writing. That's so funny.
Okay. See, when I made that joke when I was 25, I love bimbos. That was a compliment. Apparently, everybody's so sensitive you can't call it a bimbo.
Fun to be with, and something like that.
Usually well, childish then. Yeah.
So we're just being mindful of the language. But I think bimbo handwriting is pretty funny, Diane. What it generally means is they're out to have sex. They're not really thinking about the future. They're kind of playful in the moment. They're just a good time girl. And that is actually a whole category called OnlyFans these days. So I'm sure there's no judgment here.
So we're kind of family here, aren't we?
I have a question for you. The handwriting on the right or left, does that mean anything?
Well, the handwriting on the right and left is the note the reporter wanted me to determine who wrote it. And so her theory was, we think the bimbo wrote the note to herself just to manufacture evidence for this court trial. Obviously, he's trying to get money or something from this guy. But if you watch the interviews, I watched part of the interview she sent me, and I'll put it in the chat file. He goes into massive detail on the fact that he didn't even have sex with her. Like, he didn't. And she's like, oh yeah, but you know, it got on my hands, got on my clothes, and then it got inside me. And he's like, woman, are you insane? And so he's dealing with this all through like the problems of this. And I thought it'd be fascinating. So Freddie, my assignment.
He also doesn't know, and I think it would have made a difference if he did. He didn't understand me that this was from a different victim. He thinks that this is about Clayton. He doesn't know it's about another man. So that would have changed his opinion even more. Like, oh, wait a minute, there's two victims? Hold on. Like, you can't tell people everything. And so it's just like, all I wanted to do.
Well, I've tried to sit down and, give an accurate synopsis of this case and do it really quickly. And my God, all the stuff that there's so many layers of this. You're like, well, I didn't really add in this crazy part or this crazy part. Oh, well, what about this crazy part?
Yeah, so if you guys who know this case watch this, you're going to be really frustrated by all the errors, that he makes. Right. But forget about that, because when he starts going over her handwriting and what the handwriting shows, it is unbelievably great.
It's just fun, again, trying to explain this to just a person that has not seen it at all and do it quickly and succinctly. It was very difficult. I was trying to explain everything with it to Yellow Flash, and I kept adding stuff. He was like, "This is what? What?
You know what Lauren Knighty does, and this is my favorite way of introducing the story to a new person. And I'm gonna steal her idea some night and do it with somebody I know who doesn't know this case. She plays a game with someone who doesn't know the case called Two Truths and a Lie. And that person has to pick the lie. It is all facts about this case. It is so funny, and it's a great way for the stuff to just keep unfolding in the case. I'm going to try it because she's doing it tomorrow night too. She's got a lawyer from Florida who has never heard of this case, and she's going to play Two Truths and a Lie with him tomorrow night. I don't know what time. But I would definitely want to watch that because it's going to be funny.
That sounds like entertainment. That sounds like a lot of good entertainment. All right, let's see.
Was not to determine if she's a bimbo or not, although that might be the story that gets printed because it's more funny. It's did she write these notes which sort of help her cause? Do you have an opinion on that?
I do. I have a couple of things. I've been doing, as I mentioned to you several months ago, I've been doing handwriting analysis for many years as a hobby, but I've never ran across a system so comprehensive like yours.
Well, thank you.
That's a very compliment. But if I look at that handwriting, I remember getting a postcard from my sister, who was married about 15 years at the time, and went to Hawaii for this wonderful vacation. And we're having an amazing time. Everything is wonderful. And the words wonderful were in all caps and amazing with all caps, and they were both underlined. That shows, usually in handwriting, that there was some kind of conflict in her mind when she wrote that. When she got back, within a month, they got divorced. So I think if you look at that middle line there, it's not a screen anymore, but it's halfway down. Word every is underlined. Word every time. Sit every time.
So you think she's lying because she emphasized it?
I do. And there's another proverb that I remember because I've studied proverbs for a long time. I'm not talking about the Bible necessarily. It could be a lot of things. But she, so I don't know what your system does, but you look at the fourth line down on the right, it says, choking in it for the first 6 months. The T is low self-esteem, and it's chanted. A chanted T, I always understood as it's being very unfulfilled.
Unfulfilling.
Yeah, up one line. The first 6 months. You were there, a little bit lower. Yep. And she has the T bar on the word months off to the right, and that can show fluency of thought, or it can show a temper.
I think it shows both. I think you're 100% correct.
And she's pissed. And I think she might be the kind
She's
of woman
pissed.
that no one gets to tell her no.
Yep.
You just don't.
Ooh, do you hear that?
So if you have a low self-esteem and you get told no, and you're defensive and you have a temper,
it's brutal.
You're going to blame someone else. And if there's no consequences for your actions because you have this big fluffy handwriting, whatever. Now, one of the odd things about this that we have to consider, and I put the links in the chat so you can research this, she doesn't have lying loops. But by any stretch of the imaginations, she's lying about this guy, right? Like it seems odd. And here's the thing. When people don't have an upper zone, they don't have a sense of right and wrong. There's no guilt. They're not getting a right and wrong from here. They're getting it from whatever is around them. If they're in a Christian school, if they're in a nice Jewish school, they're going to be good, right? This person could have been great if she was in Catholic school till she's 18, but then you let her out in the wild and she becomes a stripper because there's not internal moral compasses. They were coming from the outside if they were ever at all. So that's the definition of immaturity. It doesn't mean that they're overly sexual, they're going to lie, but there's a lack of internal moral compass with this type of writing. Freddie, that's fascinating. I like that.
Yeah. So I think that she really emphasizes every time. I think that's a red flag for me just doing that. Then she's going more and more into the story. And the bigger people, I used to have an embroidery company, had about 110 employees. When I sold it, I did it from 84 to 99. And when I would have employee disputes, I would make them write down what happened on 2 pages of paper in handwriting, if they could. I could tell within seconds who was lying. So-and-so took this, so-and-so took that. And it's pretty amazing. I would like to see some of her cursive writing, if there's any of that around. Because then you'll be able to really lower her fraudulent behavior a bit.
So let me comment on what you just said, and then I'll move to the rest of the writing. Is you are actually defining what this woman named Faith did at a conference like 15 years ago on criminal interrogative techniques. So they were basically looking at handwriting from criminals or accused criminals at the spacing and underlining and the patterns that showed up when they remembered things. And so you're getting into really a specific skill set, which is definitely not covered in the 301. I've only had one lecture on it from this Canadian police person. But I think what you're saying, Freddie, is really insightful and useful. Maybe you could do a class on it for us. I could probably find the notes.
I'd be happy to share.
Yeah, because stuff like this is sort of like criminal, but it's not really forensic document examination because that's the authorship. And yet it's not really psychology. It's somewhere in between of like, wow, is this person telling the truth or not? And when you read about this kid, this young man, you'll feel sorry for him. Make sure you see the notes in the chat. I put the links there to the articles there. Okay, Freddie. Go ahead.
The last thing I was going to ask you about is where do I find all this stuff?
There's a chat button along the bottom here.
This is the boomer part of the
chat
stream
box. There is a bunch.
So they're talking about the articles though related to this case. Yeah, that's good actually. It's good. That's one of the things I like that with your articles that break down a lot of this. They give a very easy to read synopsis of how this stuff popped off, and if I want to introduce somebody to it. That's one of the important things about getting this into media, because anybody can link to it, just like he's trying to do here. Hey, you want to know a little bit about how bad this is and feel really bad for this guy? Well, read about what's happening. I was watching.
I need to write some more. I need to write some more about it.
Somebody mentioned, the description here. It reminds me. People were talking about mental health diagnoses with her. Again, I'm not diagnosing. I just want to make that very clear. But somebody mentioned borderline, personality disorders. It always comes up, especially we see that with like Amber Heard. I've seen this mentioned over and over again with Laura Owens. And the check boxes, they follow up what they're saying. Like the, you have the 9 check. It's just listen to these check boxes and tell me, do you see this behavior here? So empty, low self-esteem. They just mentioned that, but low self-esteem. Okay. Overwhelming emotions or feelings. Okay.
Yep.
Anger, irritability, unstable moods. Yes. Anxiety about relationships and attempts to avoid abandonment. Extremely, yes. Difficulty with self-image, sense or a sense of self. Yes. Self-harm notes. Again, they don't have to be real. They could be, noting that, or thoughts, even attempts. Yes, of course, we just covered that. Impulsive, risk-taking behavior. Again, all of the behavior we've heard about, I would say there's some very impulsive. I mean, that's your check boxes. Yep. Everyone. So, and they're bringing up a lot of these items with their handwriting analysis. So anyway.
To links that we've been posting, we've been chatting behind your back.
You skip forward a little bit.
How handsome
He'll bring. There we go.
@gmail.com. That's legal.
Can somebody do that for me? Anybody? Graciela, Diane, would you email that to him?
Yeah, it's FM. Or she can send the bar. Ever. My name is Freddie.
Keep going.
Thanks for your patience on Monday. I thank you for your patience.
No, handwriting. And she gave me all this handwriting.
Okay, here.
And none of it, Freddie, is in cursive.
Okay.
This is how that bimbo writes.
I think she's done.
So do you think?
I think you got your answer.
Do you think if we wait and wait and wait, we're going to find some handwriting that might be cursive and might match that note?
I think the printing matches already.
So let's revisit the question.
I mean, there are 2 lower zones. That's all it really is. There's no upper zone to speak of.
Let's answer the question. Does the handwriting on the left match the bimbo's handwriting on the right?
No.
No.
Now I understand we didn't train you for this, so there is no wrong answer.
No, but I can see a couple of things, but the one T-bar, the word that right there. The two
the K's different. You got a
The G, though. Look at that G. The hook. Anyway.
Loop in the D.
Yeah, see,
you got
that's why
upper zones.
I
You
saw
got lower
some stuff
zones.
that was similar, but they, they do this all day long.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's it. He'll explain. It's not unusual for two different people to have letters that look the same. It's more about the patterns and the way. And what really screwed us here is that there was no cursive writing sample that we know is Laura's. If we had had that, they would have been able to do it. It's very hard to compare cursive writing to printed.
Zones. Look at this Y.
Yeah,
You've got like upper zones in the F. Like this woman has no upper zones.
But
All
the
you have
key, look at the word that. Take the word that right there. That one. Go over to the right side. Fourth line down.
Yeah.
On the right, the word that. Fourth line down to the right. Third letter from the right. That, this. These are identical.
Identical or similar? Because I don't see a high T bar anywhere.
I'll say similar. Yeah, she spaces the letters out pretty wide.
Unless she has a split personality.
It could very well be.
She takes one.
Which
She takes
could
one
be the
personality to
case.
write one.
It's a fair question. There's only a few ways to write that. The connected letters is important. Freddie, I think that on this writer on the left, she drags her pen into that persistent stroke. I don't see the dragging of the pen in that on the right. And I also don't see any T-bars that are particularly high in the writing on the right, which is the bimbo writing. So right there, I'm like, wow, there's something not jiving for me. I'm also haven't seen too many people that convert back and forth between this kind of printing and cursive and don't look very similar, meaning bubbly, rounded, and compressed. So my initial opinion is I think she probably had a friend write it, or her story is legit, like she just wrote it. But it didn't scream to me like she's the author of this note, which is probably not what the writer wants to hear because she's trying to make a cool story. But to me, it was definitely a female. Like, I think we can agree that there's two females here. But
I just want to clarify. I did not have he thinks that I definitely wanted him to tell me she wrote it. I just wanted to know, like, what does it look like to a handwriting expert? Does it? Because I think it's very possible that the woman on the plane wrote the note because Laura was having an absolute temper tantrum meltdown. And so it's very possible that she misunderstood what was going on and thought that Laura was being abused by Mike. But I just wanted to see, like, what would somebody, because I'm not an expert, what would they think? He thinks I definitely wanted him to tell me that she wrote it. I mean, I think it would be funny, but I can see it going either way,
Yeah, you just wanted. I mean, all of us have had questions about that, wondering, hey, could this legitimately be the same person? That definitely has crossed, I think, everyone's mind when they see that. Because it's such an outrageous tale that she has adopted and she has put into everything she's talked about.
I just don't see the level of rounded, slow, and almost, I hate to use this word, lacks mental acuity. Like the person on the right just doesn't have everything firing together. The person on the left has fluidity of thinking, connectedness. Like there's a level of maturity there.
There's even more generosity that shows in the way the letters are spaced, whereas in all the printing there, the letters are all jammed together.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue, like an amateur would say, well, look, this Y is the same and that Y is the same. Therefore, it's the same writer. Like, it's got to all be congruent. Like, it's got to be 80, 90% congruent. And then the exceptions you have to explain. So I'm just I haven't looked at it too much, but I thought it would bring it to class, could be fun. I wasn't convinced it was the same writer. It just, to me, there was a lot of differences that would probably give her the benefit.
But what does it mean that a down-slanted T-bar, but
Tug,
to the left?
I gotta jump. I gotta go. But feel free to keep watching this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to finish the few minutes on this, and then I'll have some super chats.
Yeah, because it's really interesting. Good night, chat. I got to run. I promised my kid I would watch something with her.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate you.
All right. See ya.
Yep. Let's finish this out, though, Chad. Let's watch it.
Because the T's have like a
Yeah, the word not.
down slanted, but to the left.
You mean here?
No, the word, go to the right
Yes.
about, next line down, to the right to the edge of your thing. The word not.
Terrified, also terrified.
I don't see what you guys are talking about. Terrified? I don't see a T that's going to the left. I see a T that is slanting up. Do you think that's a backwards T? Because here,
No, the one in the word not on the top line, word not is definitely set to the left.
yeah, I disagree with you. I would say we don't know if it's slanted to the left. I have never met anyone who slants some T-bars right and then other T-bars backwards. And if you guys have, please introduce me. I think we're perceiving it as slanting to the left when it's just tilted. And tilted would be optimism if it was just on its own.
Look, I just.
Are they asking if the T was crossed from the right back to the left?
That's what.
So their analysis so far is low self-esteem, bimbo right.
A student is asking here.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, what I'm saying is it's usually a left-handed person, and they all do all of them consistently. It's pretty unusual to see them, and they can relearn, and they can push that T-bar, and you may have, occasionally, but it's only going to be a left-handed person if they are trying to write the way they were taught in school. But no, I think the observation was, what does that mean, crossing to the left? The first question is, let's presume that that's correct. And I don't think that's correct in this sample. If it was correct, meaning that all the T-bars are pointing to the left, that would be a form of self-withdrawal, maybe some self-punishment, maybe some sarcasm to themselves. It would go right into what the primary strokes are in class.
So, but one question about
Dipankar, you got the floor.
Yeah. But one basic thing: why does the reporter wants to know if this sample has been written by the same woman? I mean, what is the connection there?
Because she's trying to take the side of the accused and say this woman is making up this whole story. Because there's a lawsuit with money and reputation on the line.
Sorry. Yeah.
His reputation is on the line as an abuser.
I think if they, this is where you get into the problem of not knowing the entire thing. Because if they understood, no, there is a lawsuit. Oh, well, let's say not lawsuit, but there is a court filing that was going on at the time. And this is talking about yet another person that is being accused of similar behavior. And there are also other people that have been accused of that. So it's not just one person. Then what do you see it?
And a liar and a guy who gets someone pregnant and not take care of the kid. He didn't even have sex with her. That's his story.
No, my question is, what is the correlation between? I mean, how does one prove if it is written from by the same woman? Would that prove he did not impregnate her?
I don't think any evidence in front of us proves he didn't impregnate her. But I think they both agreed they didn't have intercourse. I don't think that's even in controversy. So Diane, you're the nurse practitioner here. You think if it rubbed off on her genes, she can get pregnant?
Well, I'm not a nurse practitioner, but I don't think so.
No, but how would
I'll let you watch the interview. I'm not going to go into the did or did not have sex part of it.
No, not that part. But why is that? I mean, somebody has written this. Is it the same woman who has written the letter? How would that prove he has not done what he's been accused of?
If she wrote the letter and said somebody witnessed this abuse and she wrote the letter, then she's manufacturing evidence in her own case. Then she's a liar and everything else she says is a lie.
Yeah, that's a
Point
big
is
problem.
okay.
That's why
it's going after credibility. That's what the question is. Are we talking about, and I think everything else you have stacked there would go after credibility. Anyway, I'm going to let this play.
It's relevant.
Let's not finish.
If I come back and say, hey, it is a different person, that still doesn't mean any of it's true. She could have had her best friend write the note and hand it to her. We don't know. But if it was self-created, it's really bad for that woman's reputation. That's the point. Dina, you got the last word.
Quick question. Would you consider a case go to hell case?
I would. Both writers have really large Ks, which are defiance, which again, you push back. Not necessarily cry foul, but I used to have them. I don't have them as much anymore, but when I was young, I definitely didn't respond to authority very well. And if anybody knows me now, I still might not respond to authority very well. I think everybody here, is there anybody here not in the certification course? Marietta, are you in the basic course? Christy, I know you're in the certification. Dina, Christy. If you guys will shoot us an email, Freddie, I know you're in the course. We'll be glad to see if we can heal. Somebody just enrolled about a week ago, and he really wanted some live kind of classes like.
Okay, so anyway, I was curious about what Megan sending this over there. That is fascinating. I don't know anything about handwriting analysis myself. I've never looked into handwriting analysis. So I do think that you don't need handwriting analysis with this case, just to be honest. Everything else, points to. Let's look at some super chats here anyway. So just check this out. Let's see. Emma, thanks for the 2 there. This mother needs to be investigated. You have to wonder at some time, like, what is exactly, does it say about a person when they've, when they enable? I think that discussion we were having with, Megan and I were having, it's such a bizarre thing. We had this talk before too, because, I noted conflict at first, but I think when we've gotten to the level of enabling that we're talking about, when you have victims and they know that somebody's victimizing, yes, there's a real problem there. Yes, they, how do I pronounce it? I'm going to IR. I apologize. I'll butcher your screen name otherwise. Thanks for the 10 there. There you go, little umbrella girl. She's going to be happy for tomorrow with candy. John, thanks for the 5. Candy for baby umbrella girl. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you both there. Deanna Grayson, thank you for the $20 super sticker too. Thank you. Travis, what's up, Travis? How you doing, my friend? Thanks for the 10 there. Here's some candy money for baby umbrella girl. She's so funny with that, man. Aubrey, thanks for the 2. Candy money. Like right now, she's setting in her, I checked, I set up, I have an outside camera, to watch the yard for security and stuff. And I faced it inside just to, to see like if she was, like what she's doing, to make sure she's, going to bed and everything today. And she's sitting in her chair. Like she's got her, she had her bag of candy there. She's sitting in her chair. She's watching it. She's got her little bitty kid recliner. It's really cute. It's funny. Let's see, Cindy, thanks for the 5 there. Candy money for the babies. Thank you. Appreciate that too. Yeah, thanks for the 5 there. There's candy money. Cheers. I'll have to tell her. It was so funny. She was like, candy money. Real Ryan, thanks for the 10 there. Candy money for the grifter baby umbrella girl. Indeed. Thank you. It's funny too. AJ, thank you for that super sticker too. Appreciate you. Thank you. Megan Fox. Megalodonis. Thank you for the 10 there. Candy money for Bug. Thank you too. Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for the additional 5. Tug. Aviva has an extensive video on all that. I know if you collaborated in the past. We've actually never done a video or anything. We've discussed stuff back and forth. It's been more about a case. There's another thing too. So yesterday I talked about how I was going to cover, some stuff with everything with Ricada, and he had good news. He had gotten his kids back. I was wondering what happened with all of that. So I do want to discuss some of the new stuff there. I wanted to make sure everything, like I knew everything and I understood a few things. I said in my live stream the other day, by the way, about that I thought by the end of the month that that would probably happen if he's following everything, which it looked like, again, from newer stuff we had seen, that would happen. And so it was a little earlier than I thought. But the reason I say that is because of Viva. That, and there was some other issue with law too, when I talked to him. But anyway, that would be interesting. I'll have to check out their coverage on that. KW, thanks for the 5. If the cops showed up at your door, wouldn't you rush to where your daughter was to make sure she was okay? Yes, that's a very good question. I feel like it's failure with everything. You notice how fast she came to the door too? And I mean, she was the one, that behavior as a police officer, would you think that behavior was kind of, I don't know, strange, possibly? You'd be like, hey, maybe I want to place eyes on the person too. Vanessa, hey, thanks for the 10. What's up, Vanessa? Happy birthday week, bug. Indeed. You got a week to keep partying. Yeah, she's going to, she'll have a fun weekend. We got some plans for it, so they'll have a fun one. Amy, thanks for the 5. Candy bunnies for the baby umbrella girl. She's got hooked up on that too. And K-Rab, thanks for the 10 there too, for the baby umbrella girl. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. John, thanks for the 5 there. I tried to send a shout out to JD DeLay for fighting a certain type of bad person in Oregon, but YouTube kept making me edit, would not let me say it. Oh, that certain type of bad person? Yeah. Oh, by the way, so another thing I want to cover, there's been a lot of new developments in the that Mr. Beast mess that's been going on as well. I'm not going to add it to this, but there was actually a leaked internal memo. I say leaked. That could have well been like a PR thing, to put it out there in public, but that was fascinating. So I want to put that together. Talking about the certain wood chipper type. Thanks for the 2 there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. Thanks, K-Rap, thanks for the 5 there. The police and the court system are enablers too, because they don't want to deal with it. Yes, it's actually, they consider these low priority crimes. And unfortunately, because they don't make splashy headlines. Like the stuff that's going on with this. It's big headlines now. The reason you actually had a post talking about whether or not there would be any prosecution of it is because it's gotten so much attention. But before that, it was all low priority. And that's horrible because you're talking about people's lives here. But since it doesn't make, again, stuff that's happening to a Greg Gillespie or a Mike Mancini, that's not splashy. It's important, but it's not splashy enough. Like, isn't that sad? That's where law enforcement is these days, as far as prosecution. So when we talk about prosecution for all of this, I mean, it took Clayton Echard to actually make this really go anywhere. It took a name attached to The Bachelor, and that's sad. What's really sad about it, it's just like other cases we've talked about. At a certain point, this behavior could have been curbed. Clayton Echard should have never been in the situation that he was in, because all of this stuff had been put together. Law enforcement, they had all the records there. They had everything. They can look up somebody's past. They can look up all of the accusations that come together, and they should have been able to link it through 2 cases. And who knows, like I said, what else is out there. But those 2 cases alone, like the eerie similarities of all of that. But even when people have pointed that out, you even look at the Clayton Echard stuff, they didn't want to pay attention until the judge's order came down, exonerating Clayton Echard and sending it over, which caused just a flurry of activity online. Before that, they didn't want to pay attention to the Clayton Echard situation. They didn't want to pay attention to all these other guys. Like I said, that's not justice. So yeah, I think all of that needs to be looked at. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for 2. My password, Grey Poupon. I hope you're talking about mustard. Gross. Jack Small, thanks for the 5. Her parents use the same password for Wi-Fi and emails. Crazy if you don't change it if you think you've been hacked. Laura Owens' mom drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah, definitely. Well, I even wonder with some of the narrative, like, did they help put together the narrative? Because again, they added on the stuff about the Wi-Fi. Like, they added all of that themselves. So, with the narrative, yeah, maybe they drank the Kool-Aid, but it sounds like, they actually spiked the punch with a little bit of their own special drink, too. It doesn't sound like they're guilt-free in that. But yeah, the whole narrative of years ago, they dated, and he got her passwords. Anytime I feel like something of mine has been jeopardized, I change the password. I mean, I'm sure you do too. Like, if you felt like you'd been hacked, would you continue to use the same password? This doesn't even make sense. And it also, another thing, I didn't think about this at first. Are you really a hacker? If somebody gives you the password to get into their device, are you a hacker? I mean, it's not really hacking. I'm not saying like, that would definitely, if she had proof of any of this, by the way, all this stuff she alleged, which we know is not true, by the way, but if she did, that would all be violations of a protective order. Everything she alleged would be violations, and that's what she was hoping for. She was hoping to put him in jail, and all because he didn't accept a dating contract. What's up, Snake Plush Kitten? What's up, Snake Plush Kitten? Thanks for the 10 there. This is crazy. P.S. Received. Search for love. Oh, cool, man. Love the ending where the Scooby Gang pulls on the Batman's mask. And the villain was Amber Age. Yeah, indeed. You like the comic, though? We've been mailing. The comic took a long time to put together. There were a lot of delays. There were all kinds of stuff, let's just say. But finally, it is delivering. It is coming out, and it's been landing. I hope people have enjoyed it. It looks great. Laura Owens, thanks for the 5 there. It was 12 noon when the cops were there. People, no way I'm up that early. So tiring, scanning the net all night. Indeed. It is wild. They said that Greg Gillespie doesn't have a life. He goes on and he's always online, and yet, again, who does that describe? Box for Life, thanks for the 5 there. She's taking a nap, but she can put her mom bump on and come out if you give her a moment. I wondered, again, Megan brought that point up. She was like, if she would have been on camera, you'd have been able to tell something about that. So she would have had to actually go to the door. There would have been body cam footage. And that would have been crazy. Tease T, thanks for the hundo there, by the way. Thank you. That's crazy. Thank you there. Candy Stream for Baby Umbrella Girl. Make sure you share with Little Umbrella Girl. Indeed, yeah. When we did the, when we went to the candy store, I got her stuff too. I make sure to do for both of them. It's like her grandma, for example, like when they brought over presents, we had everybody there. We give whichever sister, we give them a present too. It's nice there. You don't have to do that, but it's I find that that's a great thing to do. Plus, honestly, they're good kids. Both of them are really good kids, so they always get included. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 5. 2018's most downloaded new podcast. 2019 to 2022, most downfalls off a 3-foot pony. Has anybody looked up the statistics on her downloaded podcast? Even in the category of mental health, was she a most downloaded? I am curious about that. Is there any, again, whether fake download, not even getting into that, Was there a time when that was one of the most downloaded? You know, at the time for the TEDx, that was what, 2022? So that wouldn't really be relevant right there at 2023. I'm just curious. I'd like to look that up. John, thanks for 5. Funny thing is, Mr. Beast still has chocolates in my local 7-Eleven in Maryland. Thought he would be canceled by now. His friend is a freak. Well, they're definitely the stuff that's come out. Actually, there's new allegations where, again, these are allegations. We will see. They will be looked into. But a former employee came out, did another video saying that one of the people that was in the early videos was we'll say a predator. And that was known. Like they were actually like a convicted predator. So, ugh. Yeah, and you're talking about in your local 7-Eleven. Actually, it gets much worse than that. Let me pull this up real fast. I want to show you something. So it's not just, there's a toy line. And the toy line is, that's more concerning than the chocolates to me, just to be honest. The toy line, so you've got all this insanity that's happening right now. And the toy line is in Walmart. Give me 1 minute. I'm looking for a post about that. So these are screenshots from Walmart. You know, Mr. Beast has a toy line with everything that's been going on. Again, you have all of this association. It's bad enough that deleted comments on a new video, there's been tracking on those, and we're talking about tens of thousands of deleted comments. You know, because the new video was trending #1 for a while on all of YouTube. So, anyway, I don't want to get on that subject too much because there's a lot of stuff. That's an entire live stream full of new items that go with the Mr. Beast stuff. And you know, if people are like, well, that's YouTube drama. That's not. What it is you're talking about the biggest YouTuber, and you're talking a $1 billion brand. You know, brought in over $300 million alone last year. And that brand, I mean, it's on Amazon, Netflix. You ended up with some pretty horrible stuff connected to one of the originators of the channel, and one of the people that have been around forever, and a lot more with it too. But KW, thanks for the damn Megan. Every single time she calls 911, she gives her address. Please watch again. Put yourself in the cop's shoes. They have all those reports on the computer before the knock on the door. Yeah, I'm just my problem with looking at it. You know, the police, some of the stuff they did. Again, they gave the number of the person calling. They gave that to her. That's bizarre. You know, to just hand that out. You think about, again, the issues that could cause. Like that's crazy. And then they were asking about Greg, but it became again about what does Greg drive? There was discussion about arrival at the house. At the end of the video, though, the mom herself brought up comments about the Medium post. That's when you have a little bit of change of flow. But if the mom wouldn't have brought that up herself, we would have never gone down that path. You know, the police, they didn't seem to be handing this off and saying, well, you know, the way you should do this is blah, and just trying to redirect it to the detective. They were telling her that if you take this and you add it to everything else, then maybe you have a new approach where you can go after Greg Gillespie. And that was not the purpose of this call to begin with. The purpose of the call was a wellness check. So, I mean, they took the reason the call happened in the first place. They just chucked that out the window. They never laid eyes on Laura. They went through protocol where they gave crisis information, but they gave it to the mother. They did not give it to Laura because they didn't lay eyes on her again. Like, all of this stuff it's concerning in a few different things. Again, one of the biggest concerns I would have when we look at that is, remember how Mike Mancini's plays out? It plays out in a much similar way, not about a wellness check, but it was a call about something else regarding Laura Owens. Laura speaks to the police, though. This is her own narrative, remember. She says, she talks to them, she tells them a story that's similar to what we're hearing about Greg Gillespie, only she makes these horrible allegations about Mike Mancini. And the police turn it in to a reason to refer that for an order of protection against Mike Mancini. They don't, obviously they need to give that information to Mike and say, hey, Mike, maybe you should go and file for an order of protection against this person that's doing that. No. And the really tragic thing about this is, if it worked, I always look at this stuff and I ask myself, if it worked, what would have happened? And you know what would happen when they redefined the call and they made it about Greg Gillespie and they said, hey, you know, this guy, he's doing X, Y, and Z. In fact, this brand new portion, whoa, man. And they would have been able to reframe that and just say, yes, this somehow fits into that. And they decided to go through prosecution. Like, they would have said, oh, well, we feel like we have enough. What would happen? Like, again, if the stars aligned, and I'm not saying that this would be fit for prosecution, but if it did, if you ended up with the wrong judge and the wrong prosecutor, and they decided, hey, we will move forward with that. We've seen people railroaded before. The man would have ended up in jail. He would have ended up in jail, and he would have ended up with some serious issues because he already has a protective order against him. So that's what concerns me about it. And again, you can look at the police behavior in that. It concerns me when I look at something like that, and I think, again, they're giving advice on how to approach this, and it really could be something terrible. And meanwhile, they're ignoring the whole reason the call happened in the first place. And Vanessa, thanks for the 5 there. Tug, you have a candy greeting for Bug in your DMs. I'll have to check that out. Let me see. I want to see what's there. Like I said, I looked through this, and it alarms me. The whole Laura Owens thing, I think, should be a wake-up call to a lot of people out there, because, oh, that's cute. I appreciate it. She loves Kirby too, so she'll love that. She will definitely love that. I'll share that with her. She loves Kirby and Sonic and all of it. You hear her talk about it, so that's cool. Appreciate that. And for Dead Punk, I appreciate Dead Punk too. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end here. I got some stuff tomorrow. I don't know. It depends on when I get home tomorrow. If I have time for a live stream. There's, like I said, there's multiple things I still want to look at. Again, we were looking at the Karen Reed case. I also, again, the Rekieta update. I think that's important to bring up because he posted about how, you know, his kids are back. So again, he met the state. There's been a lot of discussion about that, and the state with them doing that, or I mean, they're making a statement themselves. You know, it's funny. No matter how you approach that, like it's like you get a bunch of people saying you're just sweeping up the mess. There are other people saying, "Oh my God, you're trying to bury the guy." Now, I'm looking at a case that's been made very public. You know, and I really hope, like, for the well-being of kids in there. I think that a lot of people, like, when they look at that, they don't look at the well-being aspect as much as they should. You know, with the DHS component. Oh, I'll talk about that stuff later on. But anyway, that was a huge update, and I think that needs to be added to everything. So I thought about having an interview with him too. Again, people would flip their wig about that as well, but we'll see. I bet we could have that if we wanted to. And also, what's up? Get back up. It's a runner. Thank for the 10 there. These cops failed at their job that day. No excuse for the BS. I'm a huge proponent of back in the blue, but this is complete shit. They need to be reviewed. Yeah, and remember, you know, with this too, right now, you know, Megan was talking about putting in a request, and then she said, no, that's not a good idea at this time. And it's not, because right now there's one focus, and that focus, you have the prosecutors potentially looking at prosecuting her. So yeah, this stuff, there should be some review of it one day. I'm hoping that when everything's reviewed, they can see the problems in this case and how they've treated Laura Owens and how they've treated, they've really not necessarily treated Laura Owens, but treated the people that she's taken aim at. But anyway, I'm going to end here. I appreciate you folks. It's been an interesting chat tonight. I needed a good chat today. I needed to have a fun one. So I appreciate all you folks. I'm gonna end, no song or anything tonight. I'm just gonna end. Thank you.